Start the show.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sabrae.
I'm sorry.
And this is
No
No
Disclaimers
Disclaimers
Podcast.
Podcast. All right? That was a very interesting start. Let's give it up for us ourselves.
No, really though. Like you don't even have you can't call it that till you get a certain age. You just have privates.
Shout out to Brent Fires. Am I saying his name right? Shout out to Brent Fires.
We know who you're talking about.
That was around me on his new EP called Lost. It came out this year, so I'm going to call it new. I don't know when it
Baltimore
came out.
native.
Is he from Baltimore?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Real quick,
Where's
You say Baltimore like you
It
from
was a
Baltimore.
very DMV song.
She said Baltimore.
What'd you say?
Journey calls them wieners and vajayjays.
Oh.
She was like, he has a wiener, and girls have a vajayjay.
Wasn't it off a movie?
Wieners.
I forgot, maybe some
She's
classic.
8. Let her cook.
I know. Riley, the same way.
She's
Oh,
basically
Kindergarten Cop. Y'all seen that?
What?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Boys have penis and girls have vagina. That was so funny. That was
Little
before
beyond your
your
time,
time.
Sabrae.
Yeah.
It was.
I used to love Kindergarten
I don't
Cop.
remember
Oh my God, I used to watch that movie
Way
so
before
much.
my time because I'm 26 and
With
y'all are
Schwarzenegger.
5 years away from
31.
AARP.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sports nigga.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was actually excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
remarkable.
Very,
You might
very
wanna
well
do voiceover.
executed. It was
That
well
was good.
executed.
Yeah, me and voices have a thing.
Yeah. So let me not be rude. Let's introduce today's guest. We have we have Ron.
And
Hey,
then other
what's up?
son.
Hey, y'all.
His
I'm
name is
Ronald.
Ronald.
Yeah, I like
But
long
I'ma call
walks
him
on
Ron.
the beach.
Oh my
Okay.
God, don't.
I like long walks on the beach, and I like people to listen
your
to what
other
I have
name?
to say.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you probably might have known me in a former life as G2. I used to rap, but now I just come on podcasts and argue with my family.
You know
That's
what?
a bad.
Okay.
That's a life. That's a great life.
People act like he ain't never body or no Cap City sites. I remember that.
I've been there.
You
We
body
have
same years I do.
Haru, a.k.a. Cedric, a.k.a. the resident encyclopedia. He's a day one person. He's been around since the network first started. You know what I'm saying? Please introduce yourself to the
Clap it
people
up.
again, because it's been a while.
It
It's
has
been a long
like a year
time.
or even longer than a year. since
It's
the
like a year and a
episode.
half because you
Yeah,
came
no, right.
right when I first got here.
Yeah, it was a long
Yes.
time.
You were like
Long
the
time.
first guest
Yeah.
that I faced on here.
He's
But
smart
I am
as shit.
Abbott Kai,
Yes.
a.k.a. Kai Ron, a.k.a. Hey Haru. Just depends on what medium I'm using. If I'm writing books, I'm Hey Haru. I'm on podcast, I'm Abbott Kai. In my regular life, my government is Cedric. Whatever. Also, Sabrae coined the name Resident Encyclopedia. So apparently that's my favorite nickname.
Young Jeopardy.
That he, young Jeopardy. I think I got another one.
Gangsta Greasy.
I have short arms, or I will punch you in the shoulder.
Jeopardy.
Young Jeopardy.
I'm actually gonna take that.
fucks
Your
with
arms
that.
too short to box with God.
I fucks with
Don't
that
kill
one.
soloists.
I'm gonna put that on
only
a
kill
t-shirt, but
squads.
I'm gonna make sure I give you your royalties for that.
I just need a small percentage. It's yours. Don't worry.
Yes. So
Well, you don't have the rights to the show, so first you gotta get, you gotta get our permission, you know what I'm saying?
Off top.
Yeah.
Young Jeopardy. That's funny.
Yeah,
We
come
will
see the
just
plug.
yes.
jump you for that, bro.
So y'all, please
I just
give
love
it
our
up for
culture. We're so
our
creative. Man.
guests.
Just off some random stuff. You know what I mean?
give it up for our guests today.
Yeah,
First
clap
of
it
all,
up,
because
clap it
they're
up.
so super smart.
hands free.
What the fuck?
She got the
She got this sound.
Wow. New moderator. We've been listening.
that crowd was like, well, like these niggas for real.
Guys,
Sounded
okay.
really retarded.
we've been listening to your comments. New moderator. Next week.
Thank you. Anybody want an intern?
You want to hire that
email
intern or
us.
not? The girl asked you how she could be an intern. Niggas didn't respond.
That's called Rookie with a Remix.
I didn't feel like it was my place to do it from my personal
Listen.
YouTube page.
Listen, I'm about to get your
The girl was like, how can I be an intern?
If you
Sabrae like,
serious-
thumbs up.
No, because you know how some people just be commenting, they
watched
just
her
be
ignore it,
talking.
too.
No, you know how some people just be talking.
ahead,
Like
tell
it's
the
funny.
story.
Listen, if you want to come on, baby girl, email me.
Just know that there's no monetary compensation whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
This
what
is an
intern
unpaid
is.
We will
internship,
pay you in wine.
and we will compliment you a lot. So we'll
And
pay
an
you in
experience.
compliments and
That's the whole point of being
experience.
an intern is you learn shit.
Exactly.
As long as she's not ugly though. She
We
wasn't
got
ugly.
big
Okay,
things
so yeah, we
coming.
will compliment you.
Big
She
shit
is
popping.
gorgeous. as
Yeah,
far
she
as I'm
wasn't.
concerned.
Yeah, she wasn't. Yeah. Okay, so we got
she was ugly.
She met the criteria y'all had.
No, we
last
didn't want.
year.
I don't want her to say
No
we'll
uglies.
compliment you and then you turn out to be ugly and that's going to be a lie. We
You
want to
don't
hold
have to compliment you on looks. You can say you're very smart
Productive.
and you have a beautiful spirit and mind.
Personality.
I'm saying that you're ugly.
Personality.
I choked you a little bit on that one. You have a beautiful...
You got a really nice person.
mind.
That's when you be like, hey, my homegirl trying to holler. What she look like? I mean, she nice.
Yeah.
She doing great things in life, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like seriously, that's a big.
Where did you
compliment.
go?
Shit, I've been everywhere.
It looked like it, man. It looked like it.
So you had a party. You had a party with Boosie and TCB.
TCB.
How did it go?
It was excellent.
That's a very interesting combination.
Shout out
I'm
to
here for
Stampy
it.
and T.
That shit was packed as fuck.
Yeah,
No, I
TCB
saw
Crank.
videos.
Bitch.
Bo did his thing. My man Zay the drummer. They did their thing. They did like an hour and a half set. So shout out to TCB and then Boosie. He brung it. I don't know if people are Boosie fans, but he has a string of hits and he hit every last one of them. So.
And let me tell you,
I didn't get invited. So.
That was at the Fillmore, the motherfucking Fillmore in Silver Spring. That ain't no little club party, little rinky dink. No, that's official. They be on Live Nation, so make sure you give it up for Sean too, please.
Yeah, I appreciate
real quick,
that.
Real quick, Boosie fun fact. When Boosie first originally came out, I did think that he was Trina. I'm sorry.
What?
I was like, damn, Trina out here talking that shit.
Got a
Like,
little nasally, like...
you gonna tell me he didn't sound a little bit like the bass bitch? I was like, damn, Trina talking that shit. It was not.
Boosie, we gotta.
I gotta
record now,
listen.
so
I gotta do a
I'm
side by
No,
side.
that's not even shit. But that's not
Let the
shade. But
record
he
show.
does a
I've
little
been
bit
Boosie,
sound
yeah.
like I really did at first. I was like, oh, okay, she switched it up a little bit. Like, all right. But then I was like, oh, wait, what? Yeah, sorry.
That's
I
interesting. I
apologize.
have to do a side by side audio of them.
It is.
Yeah, don't first.
Hit
Hey,
the
Boosie, once again.
B-O-O-S-I-E. I thought that was her.
You
But
and
to be
I
honest,
here.
I mean,
You get it. See, you
accidental
get it.
impersonations are legit. Like, look at Jay Farrell. Like, sometimes when I close my eyes and hear his impersonations,
Eddie Murphy.
I legit think he's Eddie Murphy.
But he's
You know what I
trying though. Like I don't think.
No, but what I'm saying is, like,
I don't think he was
it's
trying to
kind
get
of
bad
weird
as
that
Or
you can
for
get
Trina.
subtle influences from other people.
then it
So
didn't
how many
help
other
that he was
people's
saying
voices
badass.
are mocking Denzel in movies trying to be like him, or
His
even Barack?
son?
It's like, so when you watch a lot of politicians on TV, a lot of them do the what I'm trying to say is and who does this remind you of?
That's
This
the
is
popular mannerism.
Barack. You know, so a lot of people mimic that to
Yeah.
keep it going along that same vibe. So it's like an accidental impression,
Yeah.
but it's not accidental.
I have to check that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Denzel Washington's son. What's his name?
Is his name like John or
O's.
something? He is
Give it up
just
for it.
sun-baked.
Denzel Washington Jr. Move along.
Fucking relax.
I'm mad that I can't
He's
think of
so
his name right now,
almondy.
but anyway, let's
Call me almond.
Did y'all vote? Let's go down.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Ron.
I did not vote.
Okay, Sean.
You fucking right, I did.
Yatta.
Don't disrespect me.
What does that mean? You wasn't going
That
to
could
pimp
be
your
either
vote
way.
out? What you saying?
Yeah, I wasn't going to pimp my vote out, but yes, I voted. Fucking disrespect me.
I'll tell y'all who I voted for. If she had an apostrophe in her name, I voted for her.
You rooting for everybody black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nah,
Issa.
I ain't rooting for
Yeah.
everybody black. Some of them them
Latasha,
niggas
you
is
got my
cool.
vote.
Did you see
Yes.
the video I put on my
Deviante,
Instagram?
yes. She got my vote.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you see the video I put on my Instagram?
No.
So no,
don't
because
think-
these elections these midterm elections brought out like a whole bunch of voters who never voted before, and there's this guy on Instagram, and he does this little Monday thing. It's called Big Mouth with the Lingo, and it wasn't Monday, it was election day. But he was like, it was so funny because he like, man, he's in Georgia. And he like, so I went down here to do the exam, and I called exam because I feel like I took a test in there, man. All I knew about was Stacey Abrams, man, Sus in there. He was like, so I seen Sus' name, so I just select that. He like, man, they try to play me. They got a whole multiple choice test in the back. He's like, man, these niggas wasn't on the study guide, man.
Now, was he joking or was he serious?
He was
Probably
dead
was
ass
dead
serious.
fucking
He was
serious.
He was like, so if the taxes go up, that was my fault, man, because I was just guessing at the end.
See, and that's
But you
one of
also have the right not to voice. You don't have to.
You don't have to vote, but that's one of the big problems.
But that's what
I feel
happens
like
when people have never voted before.
we need an educated voting republic. So we cannot have people sitting on the sidelines when it comes to any of these politicians or any of the ballot initiatives. And so the biggest part that gets under my skin sometimes is when you go in there and if you don't know the people's name. I mean, for some of them it's hard. Like for judges, they don't put D or R's by their name, and you generally don't know their record unless you are deeply tied in to your local court systems. That's true. But for a lot of the other ones, you cannot go into that booth without knowing people's voting records, either via open secrets to see who's funding them. I'll give you a perfect example, and I'm going to put the person's name out there. Angela also Brooks. So I was at my parents' house, and their campaign called my parents' house and like, can we rely on your vote? I was like, well, hold a sec. You can't just blindly get their vote. I don't live down here anymore, but I got some questions for you. So I did my little open secrets look up, and I saw that Washington Gas had paid a lot of money into their campaigns. I was like, well, why is Washington Gas paying this much money into her
What
campaign?
is Open Secret? Is that a
Open
website?
Secrets is a website that tracks the political contributions that candidates get.
Oh,
so that's what it tracks.
Okay, that's
and that's one of them. So what I did is I started grilling her, and then eventually she was like, well, we just get paid to represent her, but we don't really know. And I was like, so you don't really know her policy positions? Because I do, because I was looking them up. And she was like, no. So I was like, well, how can you ask me if you can receive my vote if you're not going to tell me anything about the candidate? So again, we can't blindly be led by either party.
Yeah.
We have to know and be educated as to what both parties represent.
So
They were black or white?
We gonna get to that.
They're black. Angela also Brooks was black.
But real quick
No, but
though,
who came up to your
No, they called.
they called.
Oh,
They called.
okay.
But
Yeah,
real
we-
quick though, a lot of people blindly vote because
sure.
think about it. In Nevada, a dead pimp got elected
For
to
sure.
the
I would have
legislative
voted for
seat.
his ass.
That
too,
also
but I
has
didn't vote, so.
that's a weird one as well.
He'll get
So
more done for black people
it
than a
is-
live one can.
It is also true
Here you go, sister.
that we are in a
Folgers.
more racist time that we've ever been in. And it was kind of funny because Cenk Uygur of TYT, he came out and said, I had no idea that America was this racist. So even though that one may not have been about race directly, we're just in a weird spot.
Yeah, they just
where
vote
people
for a
have
party and not a
drawn-
person.
Exactly, where they've retreated to party lines where one party isn't fighting for anything. They're just saying, we're not that guy. And then the other party is saying, okay, well, we hate anybody brown, coming across any border, anybody that's making too many babies that's brown, anything like that. So that's what the other party's representing.
So let me
so
ask
it's just
you-
kind of like it's which way do you go?
Right. We gonna get to that. We gonna slow it down a little bit.
Do it.
What do black people get? Black Americans specifically. Like when I say black Americans, I mean descendants of slaves, like people who've been here for generations. What do we get from promoting immigration? Anybody?
Okay, so unless somebody else wants to go because I just did.
No,
So
do you-
Bob,
You can go. 'Cause them motherfuckers can stay. I don't care.
Stay where? Where they at or here?
Here.
But what do we get from? Because most of the Democratic agenda is for either LGBT or immigration.
I wouldn't even say most because they don't fight on either one of those two. That's just political posturing. So Democrats are good on social policy sometimes, but let's not forget that their donors don't really have a thing to fight on that particular area on.
But what I'm saying is,
So-
so when they get on the podium and they're speaking about what they want to do, they're either they're talking about DACA, they're talking
And
about
dreamers,
tangible
yeah.
things and for those for immigrants.
Yeah,
You
which
know,
also
certain
includes
laws-
Haitians and other ones. It seems like it's more Hispanic.
80% of immigrants in this country are Hispanic.
Yeah, that's because we share the border.
Right,
So,
right.
and Canadians aren't
So-
immigrating to us because they don't need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, who the
So-
fuck would want to live here?
Right, they're
Well,
gonna
in
universal
Canada.
health.
Shit, I want
Well,
to.
see, look, and that's the other flip side. So where America has done wrong is definitely true in a lot of ways, including the Black struggle. But in the same breath, America has done a lot right as well. Like we've innovated so many things. The advent of the internet, being more socially responsible when it comes to. I'm talking about back in our day, pushing the environmental agenda. We've fallen off that horse now because of the racist element being turned up a lot more in our country. And the old wounds that that haven't been resolved are coming out a lot more. But
I'm gonna just say, as long as it's not legal to kill black people, it's not as racist as it's ever been in America.
I wouldn't say it's not
I
illegal to kill black
disagree.
people.
You
I'm
can-
talking about in the law, like lynching and hanging
Well,
has been legal
they-
back in the day.
I mean, and that's true,
it's
but
a little less
they're-
legal.
Right, but
That's
they're
what I'm
kind of
saying. So,
still
like,
getting away with it.
I was
so
about
it's
somebody
like-
just got lynched, I think, in
I'm
the,
not
Yes.
discriminating.
Ferguson
I'm not
area,
debating
right?
that. I'm just
Danye.
saying that
Yeah,
as long as
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not in the
Jones.
law that it's okay, there's no way that this could be the most racist.
That would
Just
be
because
too
people are
blatant.
breaking the law and still doing it and killing black people without reason, but prior to like
I don't know. I don't think we've
Shut
really.
up,
I don't
Meg.
think we've really changed at all. I
Only
think that we're
because-
still just as racist as we
Yeah.
once were back in
yeah,
the
but
day.
you
It's
said
just
that this is
covered
the
up.
most racist.
This is the most racist. Yes.
'Cause it's
And I'm saying
very,
it's not
very-
because back
It's
then
not as overt. Is
you
what you're
could
saying?
actually
When it was more
kill-
overt, we were
they
closer.
had parties to hang black people back in the day. Isn't
I
that-
would argue
Quick
they
question.
still do.
You can't argue it because they don't actually have parties.
Well,
to
it
hang
depends
black
on the context of what you mean.
Yeah.
Like-
Who?
Nah, but I'm saying literal
Crack
though.
the
That's
wires.
all. I'm just saying like literally.
Yeah,
they
there's
used
not
to
like
hang
you
black
can.
people
Yes, I
in
get that.
the
So
street.
what I'm saying, so what basically Cedric is saying, from what I've taken it is, they learn how to codify the language.
Respect, yeah.
And so while the same things are going on, it's not going on in the same way. You're not going to see pictures of the
Exactly.
same pictures of white people pointing like, "Hey, we're at a great
We're happy
outing
we're lynching."
where that we just lynched, 5 young boys."
completely agree with
so
that.
those things are happening, but they're just happening in a different way.
Yeah, it's
You
become
know?
more,
Eric
it's
Garner,
become more
Mike
systemic.
Brown, Trayvon Martin,
Right.
Jordan
It's become
Davis.
They're
It's
doing it
become
with
more
impunity.
systemic. Like they're doing it. They're doing it in a different way to where it's not as overt, like, hey, we're having a lynching party, but it's, hey, you killed this unarmed black person and you're getting off on it. So it's kind of like tantamount to...
Have you been on a white supremacist message board online? Have you ever seen them in action?
Nah.
I don't recommend it.
Same motherfucking
I don't
thing.
recommend it.
It's just on a message board.
It's like playing little white kids on fucking Call of Duty.
It's
horrible. That bad.
Like those
it's never
people
gone
still
anywhere.
exist.
It's just it's not as public facing anymore.
Yeah, they can hide behind screen names and advies and stuff like that.
And RSC chat relays and all that.
I mean, no, I get what you mean.
No. Yeah, I get
they've
you
done
too.
it in a way more. It's less overt as far as we're lynching, but they're still doing it. It's just in different ways, or they're trying to cover it up in different ways. But they're doing it through the judicial system. They're doing it through law enforcement.
Their slavery,
But y'all mentioned Danye Jones, and I just wanted to quickly put his name out there because he was a young man who was lynched as of recently. So
and it's
his
definitely
mom was a Ferguson activist.
Exactly.
She still
one
is
of the
too. Yeah, she turned
forerunners.
up even more post that.
Hell yeah, because you try to make it like it was a suicide. That's a prime example. They lynched
Yeah.
that boy and they made it seem like it was a suicide. Like, oh, you hung yourself in your mother's backyard.
Well, same
You
with
pulled your
Sandra
own
Bland.
pants
I don't know
down
if
to
she killed
humiliate
herself in a jail
yourself.
cell.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. They're staging it, but it's the same shit. But it's a pattern out there too, because a lot of those Ferguson activists, either themselves or their family members, have been turning up dead, burned up in
is so
cars,
true.
But check this out,
shot
though.
and burned up in cars.
Yes.
It's a pattern.
What's
But check this out.
the man's name?
The prosecutor that was in charge of the Mike Brown case, he actually lost his seat to a brother. So voting matters and local voting matters because what that is showing is hey, we reject your idea of law and rule in our area. So it's like back to the voting conversation. Like, it's so important because it's more localized now than ever before. Yeah. So who controls your local schools, where the money gets allocated in your communities, what taxes you're going to pay, where that money is going? Because whether you like it or not, we all pay sales and use tax. We all pay federal taxes anyway. So people are getting paid. Do you want more interesting Supreme Court nominations?
But
or do you want to be able to have more of a direct effect, either via local channels or activist channels, to propagate the change that you want to see instead of being an incredulous witness on the sidelines?
On the local level and then on the national level.
For sure.
Absolutely.
But my thing is always about these local politicians, somebody's funding them too. And I didn't know about the open secret thing. That's something that I'll be looking into.
OpenSecrets.org is what I think it is.
Okay.
Is this the website?
Yeah, it's a website. It's a
And
nonprofit that lives to search for who's funding whose campaign. Yeah.
And that's something that I'll be looking into, but it doesn't matter what the politician looks like if they're being funded by a white supremacist. Because if they're being funded by a white supremacist, they're going to follow whatever agenda that white supremacist wants to follow.
Yeah, because that's their base.
Right. And what a lot of times, and we're going to get to this, what black people don't understand is you can't vote without an agenda. And I've seen a lot of Democrats specifically talking about immigration and about LGBT, but nobody has a black agenda. And I'm like, why are black people so afraid to ask for or to demand a black agenda? Not a black and brown, not a black and LGBT, not a black and all these other things, a black American agenda. So why do y'all think that a lot of black people are afraid to just ask for specifically
because history
black.
will kill you for it.
Because they're not going to get it.
Well, I don't give a fuck about that.
I'm just saying that's in my opinion, that's probably why. Garvey tried it. Garvey tried it. Malcolm tried it. Martin tried it. People tried it.
You got to win.
Well, Martin
did try it.
For a black, he did the poor
he went to
man's march.
He
did the.
I don't think it
no,
was
his agenda wasn't peace. It was
because
it was nonviolence.
He was advocating for black and brown and all people.
Because he wasn't afraid to get his ass beat, so it wasn't necessarily peace.
He wasn't whooping nobody's ass. That's not fighting.
No. Well, no, it's fighting by different means. So I think I told you pre-show. I'm for the all solutions above model. So my whole thing is the Martin and the Malcolm and the Garvey and even the Khalid Muhammad. Everybody,
all necessary.
All of them are necessary to propel our agenda forward. Yeah,
you got to attack from every angle.
Every angle you can.
So Sean,
You got smart today?
yes.
Y'all the smart motherfuckers.
Oh, by the way, can I?
Yes. So
You want
hold on.
snacks?
Cedric,
nigga, I'm
aka
hungry too.
Karu, aka our resident encyclopedia. I want you to introduce what you have going on. Let the people know what you have going on. You have a lot of things popping off. You have with the organization and other endeavors, and you have some goodies for us. So Please
Yeah, as it relates to the organization, I'm not really going to talk too much on that because I'm coming as a private citizen, so I can talk about politics tonight.
Gotcha.
But Little Urban Tea Company is a company that started a couple years ago. A beautiful brother and sister named April and Stephen Portis had this vision that they wanted to start a tea company, a great tea company, not just a regular one that's producing regular teas, but very unique blends, very high quality ingredients, and made with a lot of love. And so I came together and helped them build a website and get their organization up and running. And they have made a lot of tea since then and a lot of money since. I think like last year, I think they made like $10,000 off of just doing website sales, not even invoices and everything else. But they're killing the game, yeah. So they're doing great work. But what they wanted to do is they wanted to give you guys a gift. Okay. And I told them that I would bring it on their behalf. And so here's the thing, though. First dibs. I don't know who's gonna get it. But there are 4 different flavors.
I will Hunger Games. Randomly, how about you just randomly give them to us,
and then
I'll tell you.
Oh, no. Because I want to see the hilarity ensue, so no.
I will Hunger Games in this.
Randomly give them out, and then we'll tell which one.
No.
Okay, well, do what you do.
So first is Mystic's Rainflower. This is one that they custom produced for my own organization. It's a medicinal herbal and a great tea. This one you can only find on our site.
He heard medicinal, and that's all he ran with.
So that is the Mystic's Rainflower one.
Mystic's Rainflower.
Yeah, Mystic's Rainflower. Then we have Hibiscus Lemonade that they brought.
Ooh. That sounds fire.
I know, right?
That sounds like a Gucci Mane song title.
Then they have Cold Fighter, which is their purely medicinal tea. It's also very good as well.
I'll have that.
And then they have Blueberry Muffin, which is one of their... Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know, right? So what I'm going to do for this one is just put that right there.
Oh, they have echinacea.
I'm on the show today. Thank y'all.
They have echinacea in this tea in the Cold Fighter.
Yes, Little Urban Tea Company.
I know about the echinacea.
They also have Women in Balance. They have a lot of these teas that are purely for women, a lot of teas that are for men. They have stuff like Formal Affair. It's so many great things in there too.
Yes.
I'm about to be fat.
Wait a minute. Do y'all know about echinacea though? Do y'all know about
it?
I told you they did their damn thing on
Mine got hips in it. Mine got rose hips. I'm about to be fat.
I just love Colombia.
Ooh, stevia. I got the stevia in there. Got the little non-sugar sweet.
No problem, man. No problem at all. No problem at all.
That's love. That's love.
Thank you so much, Little
and of course,
Urban
it's
Tea
1
Company.
teaspoon for each serving inside of a regular bag or a tea ball. But if you want it double strong, you do too, because they're very potent by themselves.
Yeah, it's TT.
It's TT.
Yeah, so do you even have? Hold on, wait. Sean, do you even have a thing to put fresh tea in? Do you have the tea bulb?
Yes, I do. Sabrae is trying to spread the negative energy, but she won't give me. The devil will not give me today. That's okay.
Do you have one?
Yes, I do.
What it look like?
No.
I'll do that though. I'll send you a picture.
I'm trying to
on Amazon. You're gonna be on Amazon tonight, and then. That's why he said Tuesday.
Thank you, Little Urban Tea. I really appreciate it. I'm drinking this in the morning.
Me too.
When I'm at work tomorrow and nobody else is there.
littleurbantea.com.
Yep, littleurbantea.com.
Yes, follow them on Instagram at little_urban_tea.
Yeah, that one doesn't have ingredients because ours is marked with trade secrets. So we don't expose our ingredients in ours.
I'm about to say, you got the trap mix.
You will not find it anywhere else, and it is very unique to us, and we want to protect that.
That's an important emblem.
Yeah, they are black owned.
I love a black owned.
Not to mention, let me tell you something new that they're doing too, and it's not even just because of the podcast, but I forgot to tell you. I think I told you earlier, but I didn't tell you guys. They're actually starting to do beekeeping as well. So they're not only getting into tea, but we're also, me and Stefan are going to be buying land together, or me and that family are going to be buying land together, and we're going to put their Little Urban Tea Company, like a little mini shop there, have our own tea field, have a beekeeping area. So we're legit going to be taking this thing way further than where it's at.
Damn,
levels. That sounds real peaceful.
So they're going to be making their own everything. She also makes her own vanilla extract from scratch.
That's dope.
It takes like 6 months, but
I feel like I got to bake y'all some muffins or something.
She does that too. She does everything.
Well, damn, what am I here for?
I don't know. She's just so talented.
Do y'all know that if you get like a burn, like if you're cooking or something, or somebody gets a burn, if you put vanilla extract on it, it stops the burn. It stops it from hurting.
Vanilla extract.
My grandmother told me ginger ale.
It helps with tooth pain too.
Ginger ale for everything. Ginger ale for everything.
Ginger ale aromatessin.
No, but vanilla extract has analgesic properties too. It's good for toothaches too. It's like a natural toothache.
Okay, Mini Dr. Savvy coming in with the coming
in the clutch.
We be having some. That's why y'all need black women in y'all life, because we be knowing like little like remedies.
And for one other thing.
Yeah, I'm true. I thought we talked about that. How nobody likes that.
What?
I'm not even going to talk about the DMs that I got because of the episode. We're going to talk about that
What?
later.
Well, no, you got to talk about it now.
Because of the episode where Sabrae asked that mysterious question at the end of the show.
I was
I
like,
got a lot of...
y'all really like
I got a lot of
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I got a lot of backlash and some interesting commentary on that.
What they were saying?
No,
y'all gonna have to, okay. First of all, y'all gonna have to follow us on social media to
Let's
find out.
just say someone from the past was very surprised to find
It
that
was a
out.
hot take. You definitely went up on the hill.
Somebody was definitely very, very like,
blown
you
with
what?
Yeah,
You
how dare
I'm like,
You don't
yeah,
enjoy
see?
it? Right.
See?
Y'all gonna have to check
I told
out-
you niggas don't know the difference.
For full
Wait, what?
context,
What was it?
hold on, wait.
We don't know a lot.
For
We don't know
full
a lot.
context,
care if you like it or
for
not,
the
just do
viewers
it.
and listeners, shout out to y'all if y'all listen at home, work, while y'all folding clothes, doing laundry,
A lot of people
driving.
listen to us while they at work.
Yes. Go listen to the episode if you didn't hear it already.
Yeah, now I'm curious.
Sorry guys.
She said
asked
girls
me,
don't like
do
sucking dick.
She
I
asked
listen
me,
and
do I
watch every
like
week. It's about
performing
women
for
giving
the
us ratio.
show because someone had tweeted and asked women, y'all don't like doing it, and I was like, heavens no. And she asked me that, and it stemmed into this whole thing. And
It was a whole
Sean
conversation.
feels
news.
like that women who like it, doing it, do a better job, and I'm here to tell him that's bullshit because
Nobody.
I don't know if
I don't
that's
like-
bullshit.
But I know
I
some
don't
women-
like
but I know
it.
some
We're
women
not
that just
gonna
like
get into
doing
that.
it.
Yeah,
just
we're not
telling
gonna get
you,
into
I
this
got a
again.
shit ton of backlash from someone from the past who cannot believe that I don't.
Because it was so amazing. He was like, no, you had to like him because that shit
I
was so
don't.
torture.
Sorry,
Right.
I hate to ruin your
Gotcha.
bubble.
Okay, so let's get back on track. Y'all can check that episode out. It was recent. It's called "Sorry Guys, We Don't Enjoy It."
Stop
so
this
check
road
that out
2018.
on YouTube,
Objection.
SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts.
I'm about to say, I think I need to open up a panel for that and do a vote.
Stop the
We need
road
to get some people from
2018.
We
the
did on
BDSM community
Instagram.
in there. Nah, you
Yeah,
can
and
get
them
some people
bitches
that
was
really
lying
enjoy it.
too. Bitches
They
be
was-
lying.
I don't
They be
think they
lying
be
about that.
lying.
They
No,
was lying about fucking on the
listen.
first night. Them bitches be lying.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
one of the ladies that commented hell no in the comment section on YouTube voted yes on Instagram. So I'm just saying.
A woman,
We kept the results. We got the stats.
But keep
We
it
saw
up.
it.
Can't read
You know,
it, too.
some women, they do stuff in private, but they'll deny it. And that's the thing is, no one gets mad if you don't do something. But when you're so opposed to it publicly and you're doing it, you could just not speak.
Yeah,
You could just be silent.
You could scroll past instead of dropping
Voting.
off a vicious well.
This
Yeah.
the whole
Just keep
metaphor
on
for voting.
scrolling.
And not voting,
So
for sure.
I want to revisit this really quickly. I just want to. I know y'all seen the things will post on Instagram and a lot of celebrities shouting this out and talking about immigration and whatnot. I don't understand, why do Black people feel invested in immigration when it has nothing to do with Black Americans?
It's
I'm not talking
groupthink.
about Haitian Americans. I'm not talking about Africans who
Because
come
we
from
like the food.
It's humanism, man.
Sabrae, it's
just
groupthink.
people-
Black people are inherently good
Imagine
people.
not having $2
That's
Taco
just
Tuesdays.
historical fact. Like, we've never actively gone to war with another people to just repress them. I have never found that example in our history. But when it comes down to immigration, it's just groupthink. We have a heart, so people are escaping a bad situation. Like, okay.
Okay.
Nigga, I'm with you.
What's the
I'm
problem?
with you.
But here's my thing.
We're under a bad situation, so what's the problem? You know what I
Here's
mean?
my
So come
thing.
on in.
Your brother's in a struggle.
Here's my thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we not.
We are.
Because these other groups don't give a fuck about us and they talk shit about us when we're not
That's a fact.
around.
That's also
All
a
of them do.
Yeah.
Now,
Doesn't
when
change
I
the fact
say
that
this
feels
So that
immigration,
doesn't, just because somebody doesn't care for me doesn't mean I have to change the way I think.
no.
If I'm
it
human, I'm
means
still
that-
human.
No, it means that if you have a lot of shit to do for yourself, you're going to take care of in-house first before you help somebody else with their house.
But why
That's all I'm
people
saying.
can't-
Because our
you can't
house
do it
is fucked up.
simultaneously.
Because we have too
what?
much
Say
to
that word
do.
again.
Simultaneously.
Oh, stay.
No, let that
said it
slide.
wrong.
Let that slide.
So,
You did
Sabrae,
this. You said it
I want to
right.
break down something real quick.
I
When you
said
look
it
at a
wrong.
large subsection of immigration, it's coming more so from the southern border, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing about that. First of all, a lot of American policies is what caused that to happen anyway.
Yes.
Us overthrowing their democratically elected governments like we did in the Congo with Patrice Lumumba. Remember, we got him killed and installed another person. You know what I mean? So it's like it's some of the federal government's actions that have caused that. That's one.
Yeah.
Number two, Hispanics, I'm going to say, not all of them, not many of them, but there has to be a large subsection of them that don't even realize what they are. For example, when you look at Sanchez, Cortez, anything with that easy is typically denoting that they're from the Spanish conqueror's last name, the same way that we were our slave master's last name.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, when Cortez came down and wiped their whole Aztec, Inca, Maya civilization out and installed his own Catholicism and his own rule, he pretty much fucked up their whole culture. So they're attached to something completely different. They've had their culture again attacked by our policies.
I got something to say.
And so they got some horrible shit going on. Now, granted, do I actively care about it? I don't say that I do or that I don't. That's your struggle. Deal with it, boo-boo. Africa and Somalia got some other shit. I'm more focused on that because that's what I directly relate with. I get it, right? But at the same time, it's like they're going through some shit. I get it. You know what I mean? Am I against their immigration? No. But at the same time, I'm not going to say, let's just sit here and let everybody in. You know what I mean? So it's a complicated issue. We need to make it fair across all channels is what we need to do. So stop turning around Haitians and start letting them in as well.
Exactly. And that's another thing, too. A lot of these white supremacists, they allow these Hispanics to come in because they allow them to classify as white. And they come over here and classify as white, and they identify as white, and they give cheap labor. Versus other immigrants of African countries or more melanated countries, they don't. You know, Trump said it himself. You know, he wants more European immigrants or whatever. But my thing is,
referred to black countries as shithole countries.
Absolutely,
yes, sure.
absolutely. And a lot of
You're
Hispanic.
talking about 45 like he's an honorable anything.
Exactly. I really don't be caring. People be outraged about shit he be saying. I really don't be giving a fuck what he be saying.
But why
anyway,
don't you care? He's the president of the United States.
Because I just don't give a fuck.
Because
I don't give
Goofy's
a fuck.
going goofy. He live for attention.
It's all lip service. Whether it's positive or negative, it's not affecting anything. Yeah, it's powerful, but what am I dwelling on it and care about it?
In the Supreme Court, did you see what happened?
No, but hold on. Before we get to that,
he directly affected that shit with Gorsuch and Kavanaugh.
But that
directly.
doesn't. So I'm using like the example of like
Young Jeopardy.
I'm using the example of like when he said that one of the reporters made a dumb question or something.
Yeah, that was a really dumb. That's avoidance.
That made them news. But who gives a fuck?
No, but what you have to realize though is that the old school Democratic and the old school media thing is just decorum. My fellow colleague, the esteemed gentleman, I reclaim my time.
Right.
When you look at the British Parliament, they damn near strangle each other.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a fucking liar, mate. You're just lying over here. So they're just shouting at each other. We've lost that for decorum. So what Trump brought in was what his angry racist base largely was feeling anyway.
Right.
Oh, he's telling it like it is. Even though he's a damn liar and can't keep his story straight.
Yeah.
He is just very good at bogarting the system and bullying. Little Marco, Lion Ted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's very good at marketing, branding, and lying and wrapping it up in what his base wants.
And bullshit. Sean, what you about to say?
Do you need an intern?
Do I need an intern?
I just want to learn from you.
Young Jeopardy. Yeah, I know.
No, okay.
If you don't do it with the echo, don't do it again. Like you got
Jeopardy.
Uh-huh. We got to make it to a soundbite now.
Yeah, we do. You need yes, we need a soundbite. But no, okay. So I understand everything y'all saying about being humane and all of that stuff. But when are we gonna? No, when are we gonna understand? No. I'm looking at the facts, right? Hispanics make up 80% of immigrants. Yeah. So immigrant issue, we can say that's a Hispanic issue. Yeah. Granted, there are some African immigrants, yes, but they're so small that we're talking about the majority. We're talking about 80%. But 50% of them motherfuckers voted Republican.
No, but you have to understand why. Remember, I told you about the Cortez story. So when he installed his form of governance on them, he made them Catholic. But check it out. But a lot of them are going to vote based on religious guidelines.
So you're going to vote against your own.
I know they're going to vote against their own self-interest because religion is largely a sickness sometimes. And so what it can do to people is it can infect your better thoughts. So hear me. So if the Democrats are saying LGBT and gay people can get married, and they hear that like, oh no, they don't want that to happen.
Can't be gay.
So even evangelicals are like, no. So it's like that religious message while you're taking over that side.
Right, and that's all good. And granted, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, but I'm just not focused on them. So while they're voting with their religion, why do we have to stick our necks out
because
and fight for them when they are not fighting for themselves?
So you should only look out for people that benefit you. Then you're going to be against half of the black people population. So now
there's nothing of that either.
Okay.
See, look, my position is complicated on that because I'm also not pro-human. So what that means is I have a common question that I ask people.
You fuck with animals more than you fuck with us?
No, but check this out. I got you.
I was just saying, I got you.
Check
you got to break it down for me.
I'm about to. So check this out. What I do is a common thought experiment that's from a psychology book that I picked up a long time ago because I'm very in love with that subsection. Yeah. So I'm asking each one of you this question, and you don't have long to answer it.
Okay, got you.
So on one side of the cliff, you have everything that you know and love. Everybody that you know and love is on one side of the cliff. On the other side, right, is the whole of humanity. Who would you save?
I would save humanity. I would save humanity.
Fuck humanity. My family.
Who would you save?
So who would you say?
So
At
you're
the
not
top,
pro-human.
it's just us.
It's
niggas.
just- it's that-
Who would you
it's
say,
different-
Ron? Because I do want
He
to
said
ask that
humanity.
question.
I would definitely say I would choose humanity.
I'm
And
not-
Sean, you say
Sacrifice-
family.
Well, he's
Sean,
my
when you
blood
just-
cousin. I'm
he
saving him.
Okay,
Well, he ain't saved you.
But that doesn't. But
that
that's the
does-
point. That does not change
You
the
already
fact.
did.
Luckily, we'll never be in that situation. So,
So who
I'm
do you?
saving
who
my
do you-
mom and them.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm saving-
I'm saving the people
flushing
who
my
fuck
kids.
with me, and I'm just
Your family.
tired.
Not the born ones.
But that's the thing is, some of that might not be your family.
But
That's true, but if the people who fuck with me is on that other side, then I'm gonna save the other side. People who fuck with me, I'm only when you have so much to do, you can only do for the people who support you. You can only support people who support you, or else we're going to be giving out all of this energy and exhausting ourselves and never getting to the point where we need to move forward.
So you're right and you're wrong, Sabrae.
Backwards.
So you're
Okay.
right in that message. But
Okay.
I want you to check it out this way. I'll give you a converse vegan argument, right? And it's no secret I'm a vegan.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to convince anybody, just pure facts here.
Okay.
So Americans get pissed when we see the Chinese Youngling Festival, right? Where they kill the dogs and do all the weird shit with the dogs, right? And cats. We see that, right?
Yeah.
But every Thanksgiving, 46 million turkeys are killed.
in my defense, I
Because
don't
That
really eat
is
turkey on
that is, no, but check this out.
gonna
That
tell
is
you why.
no, but that's just turkeys. Over 2 trillion fishes and other
kill the
articles
shit
of
out
sea
of
life
chickens,
every
corn
year,
and shanks
right?
going
I can go
bad.
down the complete track record. So check this out. Our attention is limited to what we feel is important to our narrative.
That's true.
So for me, when I say I'm not
can't-
pro-human,
That's
a
real.
turkey can't protect my
no,
house.
but
or
check
catch
it
a
out.
frisbee.
But check it out. But they're also intelligent though. But what I'm saying though is that we are limited in our cares to what we can locally see.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
It's
like
so-
how was
No, so what Sabrae's saying is right. Where I only want to fuck with people that fuck with me. That's a great way, but at the same time, it's like that's also very limiting as well because in our own lives we have areas that we are ignoring
Yes.
that could benefit us if we cared about another group.
But I
So
just-
for me, animals don't really do anything for me, but I love the shit out of
See,
animals.
a lot of these
You know what I
immigrant
mean?
groups, they
You
do
just
not
don't think
just
they
help
taste
us.
good.
I don't want to eat them.
So why do
I don't
you-
wanna hurt
Why
them.
are you investing in the
Why?
bee farm if you're
But
vegan?
if they already did,
Because of what
they
their
already-
method
they'll
of how they're
feel
doing it is that
pain.
they're not clipping the wings off the queen bee. So veganism has many different subsections. It's a very, very weird microcosm. So a common vegan argument is that you're not supposed to use or exploit animals in any way. There's a certain subsection that I think I relate with more, which is if it's symbiotic, it's fine. So if the animals are free to leave and come and go on their own volition, fine, that's free. They're
Okay.
free to do
But
so.
aren't you doing what people just saying? Like you're basically making an exception to fit your narrative.
Not my narrative.
Okay.
My ideology based upon my experience of ethics.
Jeopardy.
So
Talk
it's
like a
different.
Gotcha.
So it's not my narrative because when that sounds like incredibly subjective and limited. And that sounds like I'm infecting the conversation with my bias. My whole thing is just that
I mean, everyone's biased though,
I'm
right?
going, yeah, but I don't like to subscribe to that. So what
Gotcha.
I do is I change the semantics of it to be more conducive towards relating it to ethics.
Okay.
So if we're doing no harm, I attach it to a principle. If we're doing no harm and it's symbiotic,
Like
Let
it
it
is.
You ever
Like,
been in a fight?
yeah.
You talk.
You
like
hit
a
somebody?
book.
I was also in the army too, huh?
You talk like a book.
So,
I talk like a book. What is it?
Yeah.
hold on.
I talk like a
Yes.
book.
So you've been in the army, so you're trained like firearms. Have you ever shot at somebody?
I've never shot at someone, no.
Got you. But if you had to, would you?
Absolutely. If they
Why?
were a threat to me and mine, yes, absolutely.
But
In
you-
my house right
so
now, I
now-
have
You
a loaded
gang banging
308.
on chicken nuggets though?
So how would that?
Absolutely.
So maybe being a threat to you, to
You need to
the person, is
Wow.
you're being a threat to them. How do you?
No, check it. I believe in the castle doctrine. So what that is?
I don't know what the fuck that
the
is.
castle
Break
doctrine
that
is
down.
like,
Find out.
it's Maryland law on firearms, basically. If it's in my if it's in the walls of my house, that is my castle. If you come in there and I don't know you and I didn't ask you in there, I don't do warning shots. I will kill you.
Gotcha.
Period.
So
I
what
won't
if
think
it's a-
sexually
So
about it.
you'll
what if
kill a
it's a
human, but not a
chicken?
No
but not
lacking.
a-
So what if
but
a
not an
chicken
animal.
run up in your
A chicken
spot?
is not a threat to me like another human.
or
that
like
has
a
more
lion. You
power.
would kill
I don't know,
like
he
a
might
lion or a
bump the shit out
tiger.
your
If a
ass.
lion or tiger was in my house making threatening motions, yes, I would kill it.
But he might bump the shit out your ass. Then what?
Not a you.
No,
plan.
okay.
I also work at a farm
I
too,
was being
so I know
dead
turkeys
serious
as well.
because
Turkeys
now we're
will attack
talking
you if you
about
turn your back
not
on
doing
them.
harm, but then okay, now it's a caveat. It's okay. Well, I will do harm if such
If
and
it's to
such.
protect you, to protect his safety.
For example, check it out.
You're not just wilding all wild with the harm.
Right.
No, but hear me out on this. If like the humans like to act like sharks are completely dangerous and horrible creatures, right? We kill so many fucking of them every year. It's completely ridiculous, and we do it cruelly. We do finning, so we cut off all their fins.
How you
and
kill
throw
someone
them-
nicely?
No,
It's
but check
always
it out.
cruelly.
No, but hear me out. So
Okay.
to leave the sharks alive, all they do is they cut their fins off. So the sharks can't swim, so they die of starvation at the bottom of the ocean.
Gotcha.
And there are less shark attacks than we kill of them every year,
Mm-hmm.
but we see them as violent. that you swim in their fucking kitchen.
Their habitat, yeah.
So and you take all their fish out through overfishing. They gotta go somewhere. So they see your big meaty ass sitting up in the ocean. They're like, oh, let me get a chop out of that.
Tilapia.
It's like
You know what I mean?
It's
So
like
it's
the orcas. I saw blackfish. I don't play that shit. I feel you.
Even
We're being their natural
even
habitat.
that's local though. Even that's local though. So I guess back to the common messages
up.
that we're limited in our perspective as to what we care about based upon our own identities and what we align ourselves with. I just try to align myself with the blanket message of doing no harm.
Gotcha.
So back to your point, those immigrants, they may not like me or they may not fight for me, but at the same time, I'm not actively fighting for them, but I'm not against them either.
Right,
I agree with that.
I feel like
I
a lot of black people are voting for these Democrats who are actively trying to implement DACA or maintain a way for them to come over here and do all of these things when we have our own issues. Like, yeah, there should be a segment for them. Sure. But on the front lines, who are they? Their own people is not even on the front lines. And not only do they not support us back and give the same energy we give them, they shit on us.
So
This is the kicker though, Sabrae.
if there's not a candidate basically like representing your agenda, you just don't vote.
I'm not voting for them, but go ahead.
I'm with that.
No.
I'm with that.
No, when I'm basically, but this is the thing though,
We
and
can
I
get to
kind of
that,
get what
Sean.
you're saying as far as like it's one thing to not. It's like it's not helping us, but it's also not really hurting us either because a lot of those immigrants come over here and people will be like, oh, they're taking all the jobs, but they're taking all the jobs that we don't. That black people won't
but it's
take
not just
if we're gonna
jobs.
be hunted. Like
But that's like a key talking point. But it's not just the jobs.
But it's not
It's
really-
the businesses.
But that
it's
is a
the
Republican talking point.
It's
It's
the
the economic
minority
activity.
benefits.
Right, but my thing is,
it's
but they're
education, it's taxes. They come over here and work for under the table money that we
They
have
undercut.
to pay, and
There's a lot
their
of
kids
undercutting.
are still in public schools that we pay taxes on. It's a lot other than jobs.
I mean, no, and that's very true. But at the same time,
Medical.
we kind of got to just pick up the ball. And you're saying like worry about ourselves, but a lot of us are dropping the ball on that. So my thing is, if you're not against it, okay, fine. You don't necessarily have to advocate for it, but you don't necessarily have to hinder it or whatever.
Right.
That is their
I agree
situation.
with
But
that.
my thing is, either way, you saying okay, that's cool. Isn't stop nothing. What's hindering us from making our own moves?
Well,
It's us.
Oh,
well,
no,
because
no,
of the
not necessarily,
Wait,
not
hold on, wait.
exclusively.
These
that's
politicians
complicated.
that a lot of black people are supporting because they're Democrat, that's the main thing on their agenda and not a black agenda. That's what I mean by that's how we're supporting it more than we're just letting them
that's
do
what I'm-
them.
but that's
'Cause
what I'm
like, let
saying,
them
but
do
that's
for
what
There's
I'm
themselves.
also a lot of
continue
things on
to
the agenda
blindly
that are
vote for
blanket good for black
candidates.
people too, though. You know,
Like
Say
what?
again?
Medicare for all. That's
That's
good
a
for black
trickle.
people.
That's trickle down. But
That's not trickle. That's not trickle down at all.
Why is it not? That's for everybody.
Check it out. That's getting rid of the rapacious middleman called your health insurer. That
Yes.
takes your money out of your
Rapacious.
paycheck whether you like it or not. And now that's codified into law through the ACA.
But that's
the
for
ACA
everybody.
fixed a lot. I hear you, but check me out though. If you didn't have a deductible for your health care,
I
if there was
get
a
it.
single payer
It
system
will affect
where
me,
if you were
yes.
sick, because I went over to London and when a family member got sick, she was like, I'll just go to hospital. Right? Nothing. It's nothing for them. Us, we suffer through it because, I got to meet my deductible. But you still pay every month for health insurance.
That's
So
true.
you're paying for a CEO's third summer home. Now, I'll tell you why. Because the health insurance companies lobby the shit out of our government.
Yes.
So when you get a progressive like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or the other Justice Democrats that come about and say, we don't take corporate PAC money because we're not fighting for their agenda, we're fighting for your agenda, what they're not doing is they're not attaching a race or ethnic group to it. They're
Right.
saying populist message. So populist
that.
message is Medicare for all. Populist message is $15 minimum wage. Populist message is what else is on their platform? It's so many
That's
different things that are on their
cool, but in
platform, but they're
addition-
race neutral.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
That's
I can vote for
cool.
those because those are in my best interest as well. You
And
know,
that's cool.
getting
I know
rid
that.
of the student loan debt. Because remember, we're at $1.5 trillion in student loan debt.
Yeah.
The older generation is feeding off of us,
Right.
And so that is a ethnic neutral agenda item right there, and I am so for that.
Okay, so
nobody paying that school debt shit.
So Ron, how
Everybody is,
important?
otherwise the default, and they're gonna come at you either way.
How important is it to have a black agenda?
I think it's super important, but it does fall to the wayside as far as comparison to the human agenda. That's just what comes first. I feel like as black people, we're the only people with a culture that we created. Like African American culture is something that we didn't bring from nowhere. It's not an import. We came here and
Right.
invented it, and so it's the freshest, youngest. It's in its genesis stage of being like taken seriously.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get it from nowhere. We came
Yeah.
here and took what they gave us and
Right.
took
Made it
off
into
and
a
did
culture,
that.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Facts.
So,
Facts.
but when a nation of people come here and they're impressionable, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I feel like every Asian person I know is in their right mind, be a Republican. Like, you own your own business. You got the carry-all. You got the liquor store, the laundromat. No disrespect. You know what I'm saying? But that's where your interest lies. So
they're also sneaky with
how
how they support their own, though, because how often do you see an Asian buying a German car?
That's what I'm saying. So
they will buy Lexus,
And you know they
Toyota,
don't
Honda,
vote. You know
Nissan.
they don't vote either.
And if they do,
Man,
it's
they shot
Republican
Louis Vuitton
because they have
up.
those
Yeah,
small
backwards.
percentiles of other in the voting polls.
What
That's
they
usually.
what they do, they know that it doesn't really fuck. This country doesn't revolve around votes; it revolves around money. And what they do is they don't give a fuck who gets
Right.
elected. They like, all right, we got a couple things that we
Right.
want to get. Who we need to get this paper to so we can
Why
get our
can't you
shit.
fight both
The
fronts,
system
though?
be looking out for
Because money in
agree.
politics is
I
exactly.
agree.
And the
I agree.
Supreme Court codified it because we allowed certain presidents to get into office that get to elect people to lifetime appointments.
Right.
Another thing I have a problem with, but the only way you're going to change even lifetime appointments, which is something that I'm an advocate against,
Yeah.
I believe that we should have decade-long term limits.
I
You
agree.
should only be able to serve 10 years because America changes. And when you're a Supreme Court justice, you know how much you make a year for life? You know how much it is?
Rikes.
Attached to inflation is $277.
That's
$277,000
That's like
a year.
100,000 less than the president.
Attached to no, the president makes 400,
450
400K.
for the rest.
I think it's like chained to inflation as well. But in any case, you're still paying their salaries anyway. So why not be a part of the conversation? Again, all solutions above. So I'm going to vote, but I'm also not just going to vote and let you be. I'm going to hold you accountable. I used to call my congressman, Don Edwards, who was when I used to live in PG County. I used to call people like that all the time because I want you to know who I am. I want to know what you're doing because that's going to define my relationship to you. Because voting is still important.
Yeah. So how important to y'all, to Sean, how important is it to you to have for politicians to come with a black agenda, to
What is
say
the black
our
agenda,
name?
by the way, too?
Because, okay, so, you know, the term we always hear black and brown or minority, that's not us.
Right.
To be honest, that's trickle down things that they call us.
Are you saying trinkle? Because that's blowing.
Trinkle, yeah. What did you thought
Trickle
of
down.
It's trickle, but trinkle
Trickle,
sounds
whatever.
cool too.
Whatever. Is that the same?
It's been blowing me.
I
the
like
whole time.
trinkle.
I'm so sorry. Trickle down.
Is
That's
that,
trickle down
what you do
benefit.
at the end of your piss?
Well, not me, but for you, maybe.
Hey, you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe put the solo cup down.
That's
No, I'm good.
yes. It's
You see,
like
women
this.
always try. So now you're trying to insinuate that I'm drunk.
Let's take it
No.
there.
But look, hold on.
Let's take it there.
Now, last week, player.
talk about
Doesn't
it.
even hold a candle to when you were slurring.
No, it was no.
I watched-
I watched both of
I
those
watched
episodes.
both
Both of y'all was fried.
First of all,
I've seen all of the episodes.
but I can say, accountability with
He's
all the
spelling
syllables,
tea out
Mr. Accountability.
Or women.
Oh, she do with the Donald Trump.
It took you like 5
It's three of us.
Yeah.
So we
Women's-
automatically
Women's
outnumber them. Right? Let's stay
Strong.
together,
Stick
okay?
together,
Stay
stay
strong.
strong.
Okay, no. Okay.
This ain't even your fight, bruh. Don't do
Trickle
it.
down. Okay, so back to trickle down, y'all. Trickle down. So to say black and brown, of course, we're talking about black and brown, which is black people and brown people who don't even identify as brown. They classify as white, and they have
Not
those
all of
same
them.
ideologies.
Not all of them.
A lot of them, because
Okay.
like I said, 50% vote Republican.
Okay,
Remember
cool.
that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So,
There's still a whole other
and then
50%.
minority.
Yeah, so if everyone else is voting,
But we're voting in the 80 percentile Democrat.
Yeah.
So there's a difference there.
That's a
Gotcha.
fact.
Yeah.
That's because we
That's part
largely
of the problem,
vote
too.
for we largely vote with who we feel can give us the best chance of a
But-
brighter future.
Nah, we always vote Democrat
No,
back and forth.
we haven't always. The party
I'm talking about
ideology has flipped.
Yes.
Because we used to vote
From
Republican when
that's true.
Republicans
That's
were
true.
good people, I guess.
I don't
you
know,
but-
religious
There's no
or
such
religious
thing
or
as a
whatever.
good name.
But
Right.
I don't think that there's going to be a black
No, but hold on.
agenda.
We have a
One
black
second.
caucus.
There can be.
Per
There can
se.
be. So what I'm saying, minorities, I just want everybody to know, everybody's
Yeah.
a minority except for straight white males. So when you're talking about something for black people, when you hear the term black and brown or you hear the term minorities, don't think that's you. If you're a black American who's a descendant of slavery. So don't think that because you're going to get
Well,
the
don't
trickle
think that
down
it's
last
only
of the
you. At this juncture in life, I'm kind of just feeling like, look, what's going to benefit us, I'm for.
But
At this day, I could sit here and split hairs as far as, oh, well, it's not solely for us. If it's not just for us, I don't want it. Are we benefiting from it? Yes or no? If it's yes, then I'm for it. If other people happen to benefit as a result of that, I'm not going to sit here and split hairs about it. Because
But history tends to repeat itself, right? So so history tends to repeat itself. We made this mistake before. Why do we have to make this mistake again? Dr. King realized that he made a mistake close to his death, that he was like, okay, I'm talking about all of these other groups, but I should be focused on black people, and I should be focused on reparations for descendants of slaves. Ain't no reparations for everybody.
Well, the thing is, we don't have to talk about these other groups, but if it's an offering that is going to benefit us, we need to take advantage of it. But we can't obsessing over whether or not it's going to be solely for us or if other groups are going to somehow get some sort of benefit from it, honestly, it's not going to get us anywhere.
But
now, here's one thing I agree with you on. The Homestead Act was for white people, so you're right.
Yes,
I will
LGBT,
give you that.
they remember all the letters for that specific
Or check
group.
this out. When Britain outlawed slavery, they gave all their white slave owners, I think in today's currency, it was $2.3 billion in reparations from them taking away their slaves.
Exactly.
So you are right
specific.
in economic benefits.
We can have more self-esteem for ourselves in this country because we did a lot of specific things. We specifically built this country. We were specifically brought over here to give free labor. We were specifically raped and beaten and our kids were taken from us. And all of these things that still affect us to this day. We can get specific things from this government. All we have to do is put our money together and demand them and stop trying to save everybody.
Issue, but here's the thing. You said money. The problem, and I hate to do this publicly because I like to air out our laundry in private conversations.
Do that
but
shit.
The large thing that I mentioned is how many black people do I know that's standing in lines for the new Jordan 11s or whatever the fuck they released 10 million times, but they don't organize to buy grocery stores or buy the block or buy things that can propel our economic agenda. So it's like it's our attention span is another thing that is also working against our best interests. So voting for politicians is one thing, but we can't even really organize in an effective way that allows us to have a true economic powerhouse platform that's unified.
Yes.
So a lot of people like to hate on Dr. King, and that's not a shot at you because you didn't hate on him.
Yeah.
But what he was able to do with the Montgomery bus boycott is organize a shitload of black people to say we will not take that bus. And what happened? They brought them to their knees. They kneecapped it from the money.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. This bitch.
Exactly. So we haven't done that.
We did that at work.
Do we have a black limo company? Do we have any black car companies in America?
Possibly.
Do we have black bra makers in America on an industrial scale?
We had a stick out at work, and we got everything we wanted. So I understand.
Yeah.
Hey, Sabrae want to talk about voting every episode.
Voting is important.
A Mother's Day episode. She's going to bring
That's
up
not fucking
voting.
true.
Even if it was.
That's the context of the country.
I'm sorry,
right
don't
now,
look
bro.
at me like I'm gonna disagree with that. I'm heavy on that too. Before she started the podcast, me and Sabrae used to be, I think, probably the only ones in a barbershop on the same wavelength on a bunch of different arguments.
Let me tell you something. As far as voting, I'm not a get with, but like voting, I just be voting. I definitely vote Democrat every fucking joint.
Let me ask you this: what is the Democratic platform right now?
Nigga, I don't know. I just told you I don't know.
So in terms of the Maryland election for the governor, I don't want to know who you voted for, but it was Larry Hogan.
I don't know.
I know. I know.
Let me tell you something.
I'm getting at something here.
Gotcha. You want to get to it.
I'm getting at something here.
You want to beat me then to it. So go ahead.
Well, look, Larry Hogan is the Republican. He has his agenda, right? Ben Jealous is the Democrat, but he's not a regular Democrat.
But Dave Chappelle said vote for the nigga.
But you know why?
Do
you know why? He's a progressive
That's his
Democrat.
guy, brother.
A progressive Democrat. So Democrats are Republicans. But hear me out though. Hear me out though. And here's what I want to challenge you to try to change. The Democrats that are establishment, corporatist, centrist Democrats are Republican light. So what happened in the era of Bill Clinton is he became the new type of Democrat. Basically, he ran as a centrist or center right Democrat, and that started dragging the party over further to the right.
Gotcha.
So when you're not, and super predators. So when you're not watching their center or their position on the scale between right, center, and left, you allow them to slowly start slipping off to allowing their corporate donor class control their agenda.
Right.
So the Democrats are paid to lose because they accept money from the same people as the Republicans, just at a lower amount. So they don't like, you can give them that one little social policy, but
so all this
when it
faking
comes down to certain voting,
I just don't think
but here's the thing though. Ben Jealous doesn't take any corporate money.
Joke.
Okay.
So who is he listening to?
Sound like a real Ben.
No, but listen.
The people. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to pay attention to what kind of Democrats are voting for.
That sounds very familiar. Go ahead, Sean. I want to say something after that.
So did I fuck up voting for the nigga? Because
no, you did a great thing by voting for Ben Jealous.
Horrible.
No, but here's the thing. And that sounds I did not know that. I did not know that, Cedric. I did not know, but it makes perfect sense because what do you hear the Democrats always talk? I feel like they're never playing to win. They do dumb shit, like treat us like we're fucking stupid and just say get Jay-Z and Beyonce to tell us to vote for somebody as if I look at them for fucking politics.
First of all,
we fall for it every fucking year.
Hold on.
But it didn't work this time though. It did not work this time.
But
it did.
You're missing out a key point. Hove did that.
So hopefully you won't have to go through that.
Oh my God! Cut his fucking mic off. Cut it the fuck off.
Here's my whole thing: is I'm tired of us getting into the celebrity culture when it comes to politics. Like I'm hearing people float The Rock as running for office as a Democrat. I fucking hate that. The Rock is a beautiful guy.
I don't like any of his movies, so I wouldn't vote for him.
Beautiful movie maker,
beautiful.
but no, he's a beautiful guy, beautiful movie maker. It's like his personality, right? But here's the thing, though. What the fuck are his policy positions? So people are like probing people like that to say, "Are you going to run? Are you going to run?" We would love for you to run. You would win.
Right, because we so
bitch, what are your policy positions?
You know what he going on?
But we're falling into identity politics. So we're falling behind the name. You know what I mean? I care about your policy substance.
Yes.
Only your policy substance.
What are you gonna say, Sean?
First of all, his movie sucks, so I wouldn't vote for him.
Wow.
But wrestlers,
That's
just think
true.
all the wrestlers who just had like major success, like in politicians. Like I think Kane just won like
Jesse Ventura
Tennessee.
was the
Jason
governor of,
Ventura.
like,
No, but
North
Jesse
Dakota,
Ventura is very
man.
intelligent, though.
Super
I'm
racist.
not counting
Super
that.
racist too.
Jesse Ventura?
Yeah.
How so?
Minnesota. He's the I don't know. See, I don't know shit
The
about
dead
politics.
I don't think Jesse Ventura is racist. His economic agenda is like so progressive. I don't think he has a racist bone in his body. I may be wrong. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Okay, before we gonna wrap up the vote, and we're gonna wrap up
racist.
the voting topic with this because I know we went off a lot, but good
it's so important.
shit, good shit though. So in 1969, there was a such thing called the benign neglect policy, and I brought this up before. It was under the Nixon administration, and basically it was set in place to ease the tension from after the civil rights movement, which really just means a way to ignore black people and not call them by name, so in order to not fall on whatever promises that they give. So if they be vague and they're not accountable for anything, they can't hold themselves accountable. We can't hold them accountable for anything.
It's called platitudes, by the way.
Okay. And I'm just saying, if you want to get my vote, you're going to have to call me by name, and you're going to have to address the issues that we specifically face because...
So they got to say Sabrae Dimby.
No, black
You mean
Americans.
unapologetically black?
Black Americans, descendants of slaves. We specifically did things in this country, and we deserve specific things from our government that we pay into since we were born.
Sabrae, I'm sorry to tell you, our country's not ready for that yet.
Well, when they get ready, that's when I'll fucking vote.
Because we're about to talk about like finances. So yeah.
Well, not even only that. Remember, Ron DeSantis and Rick Scott are mini Donald Trump, and they won. Granted, they cheated, and it looks like it's going to be pretty funny during the recount. Florida again is at the center of attention, but the racist agenda wins 24/7.
Well, what I'm saying
in our
is,
country apparently, and that's also because the Democrats don't fight for anything. They run as a Republican.
Yeah.
So when you run a Democrat that's marked as a Republican, but a Republican. Who are the Republicans? Who are they going to choose?
Right.
No shit, I'm going to go for the real Republican.
Right.
So you lose every time. That's also why John Conyers got lost as well.
Well, I'm just saying.
Stacey Abrams ain't having it.
No, she's not having it. I think she's unapologetically black.
We need that recount.
Does she have a black agenda?
She said, "Count up."
She's not conceding.
She's not.
Shit.
She doesn't have a quote unquote black agenda, but she is not blind to the struggle of black people.
We'll see.
That's why she ran.
JC,
So here's the thing that I'm watching for her. I'm watching to see who she politically aligns with.
Yeah.
If she aligns with the old guard, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Hillary Clinton, the old establishment, corporatist, centrist Democrat Party, then I'll fuck with that when compared to a Republican. However, if it's her versus a progressive all day. Now, if it's her versus a progressive that's black, that's on that black agenda, it's that one.
Right.
So it's all about that, but it's all about a scale for me.
Gotcha.
So it's like,
I
who's going
feel
to give
you.
me the most of what I'm looking for
feel you.
when I do decide to have children? I don't want them growing up in a world where somebody can say, grab him by the pussy. I don't even wait.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be my president by the time I'm ready to have children.
I feel you 100%, but I just wanted to end it with that. I think this is a very good conversation, very necessary. I hope that if you're not while Sean is on Instagram, I hope that y'all share this conversation with somebody that may not be informed. And next time you vote, anytime you vote, please be informed on what you vote for. Because all of this Democrat campaigns talking about just vote. I don't know who you're going to vote for. Just vote. And not saying, hey, here's websites to get educated on who you vote for and see who you align with. They just want you to get in there and just pick anything Democrat, which doesn't make any fucking sense. I think that's just as counterproductive as anything else.
Blind voting and not voting are equally as counterproductive.
Yes, and I would say vote with it. If nobody has your interest, and you don't see nobody that speaks to you and your people or people that you stand for, like I'm supporting black shit. If nobody's talking about anything black, you're afraid. If you're afraid to say the word black or black American, I can't fucking vote for you.
You voting for nobody who has no chance of winning is also the same as
Well,
the
whatever the fuck.
No, you gotta vote for who you
Okay, so
support.
there's
At the end of the day,
once again, if you vote for someone who has no chance of winning,
Who says they don't have a chance?
oh, okay.
but that's what I'm. Yeah, but that's
Bernie
true. But at the end of the
So
Had he
if we
against Trump.
do history, name the two parties the past 40 presidents have come from.
I mean, we get
I'm
that.
asking, no, y'all don't.
No,
Y'all
but
don't.
I can tell you why that happened though. No, because the
You
two
can tell me-
the two
I didn't-
parties agreed
that's not the
on how to
question.
lock it down.
The
That's
question-
why.
Also, so you're
But it
validating
damn
my
sh-
point.
but it
I am
damn sure
validating your
won't-
point. I am exactly.
But it damn sure won't change by you keep doing the same
Exactly.
shit. But I'm gonna vote for who the fuck
Expect a
I
different
endorse. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, well, it's the lesser of two
No.
evils,"
No.
or "There's no way you're gonna win." If you're the candidate that I endorse, then you're who I'm gonna vote for. I'm not
There's
gonna
no
give.
good candidate. It's always gonna be something that you don't
doesn't
agree
matter. I'm gonna vote
also-
for who
that's also
I,
one. It's
and
not a
that's
perfect
true.
candidate.
But I'm going to vote for who I
So-
endorse.
Yes,
I'm not
I agree
looking for
with that.
perfection.
Right,
So
right.
if it's not you or you and y'all in the bipartisan party, then fuck it. It's just not y'all. Take it how you want to take it.
So let me ask you this question. We're gonna do some role playing here, okay? So I am the progressive Democrat running for office,
Okay.
but I'm fighting an uphill battle against. I hate to do this to you,
Green
brother.
Party.
Yeah, Green Party, and then Hillary Clinton. Okay, so we're
that's
all basically on
I had to
that.
be the broad.
Well,
Oh
It's
my
cool.
God! I thought we were.
I can't think of a lesser liked political figure in the Democratic
good.
Party but Hillary Clinton
can't
for
fucking
good
stand
reason,
that
right?
bitch.
So you're Jill Stein, right?
Get it.
And then I will be.
She let me down. I'm not going to get into
But
that.
here's the
sorry.
thing. Here's the thing, though. So we all have roughly the same relative. Are you hearing me, Yatta? We have the same relative platform, right? But I have a much more liberal view on gun rights. So let's just say, fuck regulations on that. Let people do what they want. So I'm like a progressive libertarian, right? And on his platform, and you disagree with me on that. On his platform, you disagree with like LGBT rights because that's what he really wants to do. That's what he wants to fight for. That's number one on his agenda, right? And then for that one, it's I'm a Democrat and I'm giving you like 5 things you want, but I'm also like super corporatist. I'm taking corporate PAC money. Who are you gonna vote for? Right? It's a weird one.
Yeah.
So
That
it's
is,
like what I'm trying to highlight is that it's very complicated.
Whoever has a black agenda,
I'm
I'll
not
vote
saying
for
it's
them.
not complicated, but what I'm saying is my whole logic is that the candidate that I endorse or I feel like this is the one based off of whatever. I'm not going to say, well, they don't have a chance of winning, so I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? I don't look at it like
get
that.
it. I get
I'm
it.
not
Okay, yeah.
giving somebody my vote just because
Just
I feel
'cause.
like you have a better chance than this person of
At winning.
winning.
All I'm
going
saying-
to endorse the candidate
But
that
I
I
feel
support.
you.
If
I
don't
get where you
support it,
coming from,
I
Charlotte.
understand the logic, but I'm going to support who I
Yeah,
support
I
because
do get-
realistically,
yeah.
my one vote probably isn't going to be the end all be all.
So are you
Not
part of Wolfpack, by the way?
not on a presidential scale. Am I part of
Anybody
what?
part of Wolfpack?
What the fuck?
NWO.
No.
You know,
Because if I was,
okay,
I'm
you know
Scott
what?
Hall.
It's the committee that's seeking to get a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics. That's a big part.
I never heard of
That's
that.
the core of the issue.
First of all,
Mm.
I just want to let you know I love you, my brother. You spitting too many gems.
Can we talk
on
about
here.
Christmas
and look,
now?
And I want you, hey,
Hey,
slow down on the
about-
gems.
Okay.
We'll
'cause-
talk about
I have a
Christmas
question.
now.
You know
Oh,
what they
wait,
do?
I'll ask that
Christ, man, you mean
after
Saturnalia?
the voting pool. I'm gonna ask that question after the show because I don't want these white
Voting pool.
supremacists to get on that. We want to
So
start a voting
the
pool.
207th straight episode where Sabrae used the
I
word
need-
supremacist.
Brad, he dropped that joint endless.
Yes, I always
call them what
say.
they are.
Like, how
It's
many
like the
white
third time this
supremacists watch No
God
Disclaimers
damn.
podcast?
The-
Sabrae think all white people hate all black
That's
I'm
people.
not
surprised you don't
true.
call them
I
white
never said
identity
that.
extremists. Because you know
That
that's what they label black people.
That too.
You call them white identity
I just know
extremists.
that the devil works hard as fuck,
Hey, without some of y'all white
but the
people,
white supremacists
we
work
wouldn't be
hard.
where we are.
She called them race soldiers.
Race soldiers, those are white supremacists posing as police officers. Those are race soldiers.
Got you.
Yeah,
And
They-
judges.
and judges.
All the motherfuckers.
And school officials.
Yes,
Angela
people-
Valdez.
Can we talk about Christmas?
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
Okay, so
What's about
yes,
Christmas?
we're
What's going
gonna
on?
we're gonna end on that. And can we retire the phrase black and brown? Yes or no? Can we just retire?
You don't
that?
want to bring
That
it
was
up.
a
Ain't nobody
phrase?
said
I
about
didn't
you.
know that was a phrase.
Black-
If
You
we can't
never- black
retire
and brown?
African American, then no.
Can we retire African American? Well, no, not except for the Africans who
I'm
immigrate here.
negotiating.
So where are you
I'm-
from?
I'm negotiating.
But
Where are you from? Are you from Glenardian?
I'm from
Glenarden
I'm from
American.
She is an
Glenarden.
American African. Just like
I
you
am
have
a black
Jamaican.
American.
No, you are an
are
American
Glenardian.
African. And I'm an American African. My great grandfather
Well-
who came here from Jamaica was a Jamaican African. Then you have a Barbadian African. You have a
But wait,
Grenadian
wait, wait.
African.
I'm
You always got to
Irish.
return yourself to the root. And our root,
True.
the cradle of civilization, is Mama Africa. And that's not just me. There's a brother by the name of Keith Murphy that I just met at NASB.
We're going to have to talk about that.
My lovely mentor.
Okay.
Look, we're trying to talk about Christmas, Cedric.
I know, but we're trying to re-identify the labels because that's important.
Got that. It's so important.
I'm an
It is
American
important.
African. I'm an American because that's my geopolitical affiliation.
Yes.
My ethnic background is African.
Okay.
If you're Jamaican, that is your geopolitical identity, but you are African.
Yeah.
So you always have to return yourself to the root. We're
Okay.
nothing but a different stop from the diaspora.
Okay.
Have you ever skipped like one class in your life?
To be honest,
You have retained every
No,
piece
look,
of
bro, I'm not a
information
fan of traditional college, bro.
given to you.
Jeopardy.
I'm not a fan of traditional college.
Nigga, we need to find a trivia where it's a cash prize. You are my first
Jeopardy.
First lifeline.
Yes.
Come on, Sid.
And that's gonna be the one time I let you down.
So-
It's gonna be on the one subject.
Do you
I
have
know.
somebody you could call?
Cedric.
Yes.
Young
Yes.
Jeopardy.
Young Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
All right. Moving right along, you guys.
Yeah, y'all don't want to talk about Christmas. I don't
Yes.
know what's going on
So
with that.
Sean and I had an
Sabrae had to
interesting.
open the damn the voting floodgates.
I know.
Yeah,
We
man, she
had
keep
to.
doing
We
it.
just had election
Keep
last
triggering me,
week.
man.
It's
Sabrae
over
don't,
with,
This
man.
week.
We
Sabrae
lost.
don't believe in Christmas because the snow is white.
No,
Supremacist
because
snow.
because
That's tight, but
Americans
that's petty,
said
though.
to
She be
no
out there with
because
the spray paint like, nah, not on my block.
I'm sorry, Sabrae, but that was funny. You
Not on
gotta give us
my
like
block.
5 minutes on that one.
She be like, why can't it be black snow? I'm like, because that's a muffler
Why is
smoke.
it beginning to look like a white Christmas?
He
Why
said
you
that's
dreaming
diesel
of a white
exhaust.
Christmas?
He said that's a diesel exhaust class.
I'm just saying. Matter of fact, fuck it. Hey, Cedric, break down the Saint Nicholas, the real shit.
Oh, that's from Valentine's Day. So for the Christmas
you.
part,
So-
Christmas you have
His name was Saint Nicolante.
It's Christ Mass, but before
Oh,
that
yeah,
it was
yeah.
Saturnalia. So there was a festival.
Two rappers, okay.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But that was a festival in which like a particular society used to get like really, really drunk and have all sorts of debaucherous sex with everybody. You know, damn near their animals as well. And it was their festival, and that's also where they gave gifts to each other. It was the men that gave gifts to each other as well,
Gotcha.
and they participated in like some really raunchy, like real
Like some
interesting
swingers type shit.
Yeah, some real interesting, no holds
Lit,
barred
orgy,
shit.
lit.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah,
orgy
yeah.
with animals. Ew,
But what
that's not
America
lit.
did,
No, not the animals part.
what America did is
but
attach
before
itself
that.
to the religious aspect of it, but more so, we attach consumerism to it as well.
course.
So it's more like, because I think it was, who is it, the Pepsi that, or Coca-Cola that invented the image of Santa Claus?
which is a white man.
Yeah,
with
that
a
came
big
down
white-
this chimney to bring you presents, which it's really just your mom and dad, but even
So
then it's like,
basically,
why are you...
you promoting B&E?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, breaking it into
Thug life.
So okay,
You
so
have consent to be on
but
my
the
property, Santa
original,
Claus.
so the original image of Santa was what?
It was a marketing campaign.
Okay,
It's
By
red
Coca-Cola.
and white fat guy coming down your chimney with the big beard.
Right, which
Right.
isn't even like feasible because how your fat ass gonna fit down the chimney? What if I light
It's
a
all
fire?
about the image.
What if
Look,
I light a
I'll
fire
give you one
that
more.
night, Mo?
Who in here is wearing diamonds?
me.
Nigga, I don't wear that shit.
Okay,
I can't afford
the
it.
De Beers Mining Corporation.
I wear
Their
diamonds.
vice president. It might have even been their president.
Yeah,
He
shut
said
Sabrae down
that
with her fake,
diamonds are intrinsically
My shit not
worthless.
fake, nigga.
No, but check it out. He's the one
At
that
all.
made.
I wear
Check it out. Hear me out. He's the one that made the common myth or he's the one that propelled the marketing slogan thing that when you buy an engagement ring for your woman, it has to be like 2.5 months of your paycheck.
I thought
That
it
was the
was
De
free.
Beers Mining Corporation, whatever it was. He did that, but he also came out and said that diamonds are
It's
intrinsically
free.
worthless.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But
They
yet we spend a
expensive.
lot of money on it,
So
and then
ba-
not only that, but they own a lot of the mines in South Africa where a lot of the world's
So
diamonds
basically,
come
don't
from.
go broke buying your bitch a ring.
Basically.
Gotcha.
Okay, basically, don't listen to him.
All right,
Future Bay, if you're watching,
that's bullshit.
broke.
Like,
I don't
nah.
believe
So why do you need diamonds versus another
Marriage
unique
ain't
stone?
even real. So
Yeah.
don't
That's
worry.
true. That's true. All
Also,
that shit is true.
also, check me out. All stones
wait,
have resonant
hotel, let
frequencies.
the heart go.
All right,
Who
say what
hurt
you were gonna say.
Buy
Ron?
3 racks.
He's
for-
right though.
Ron, what were you saying?
hurt you?
But he's right
No,
though.
I'm not hurt.
You know
No,
that's where
listen.
black women gotta
Don't
go.
be dismissive, Yatta. Don't be
I've
dismissive.
been hurt, but that has nothing to
Why
do
you
with
with so much
that.
energy? I've been hurt.
Because I want to say, like, you can be hurt and still believe what I'm about to throw
Shut
your way
up,
real
Meg.
quick.
Okay.
Oh, say it
Go
again. Say it
ahead.
again.
Let that
It's
black
an
king
institution,
speak.
man. And that's with all respect to anybody who's married and has been married. It's just an institution of finance. It's just made to
Contracts.
benefit the... Honestly, marriage is nothing but an institution made to benefit men. It ain't nothing but for us. Like,
The American
it's just
version
for
of it,
us.
yes.
Yeah.
The patriarchal
like
version.
What would people
Hell,
do?
you,
Yeah, that alimony
you
come
give up
out.
your last name.
What?
Well, the
what-
alimony comes when you are married and then you break the marriage.
I
But
feel like marriage
the
is what
entire
you make
institution
it.
is for...
I feel
Okay,
like
no,
it's
they're
what
talking
you
about
make
He's
it.
talking about the
I just mean, like,
No,
patriarchal
and I
so
know.
back in
but
the
at the
Christian
end of the day-
faith,
One time, y'all.
a father would give away his daughter for like some shekels or some shit,
I'm a
and then it
heathen.
became like he would trade property. So he would give away his
Damn.
daughter,
So he was
which
a
was the
pimp.
property. Basically a biblical
I'm a
pimp.
Swap it
heathen.
out.
What do we do?
If it's still in the
Yeah,
rap,
what you
you
mean?
swap it out.
What did Africans do before the Western construct.
It
of
depends
marriage.
on what tribe you're talking about. Remember, Africa was very tribal and very different depending on the section you were in. So it really depends. But I'll give you the Kemetic example. So the Kemetic example was all about co-leadership. So what I'll do is, anybody familiar with the Kandaki Warriors?
Yes, the women and the ladies.
First of all,
Sabrae like, yes, I saw it on YouTube.
First of all,
watch the video.
No, nigga, I'm not familiar with none of this shit you talking about.
So I
But
know
you
where to
educate.
start.
No,
We're not gonna get into
no,
this subject.
but
We're not
nigga,
gonna- that's too deep. That's too deep.
no,
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But basically, back to your point.
First of all,
David,
it's like
it depends on
that
the
African
Cedric.
nation used to
Okay.
value the hell out of the women. But,
Okay.
no, but check it out. I'm gonna give you a quick
nigga,
overview.
I'm listening.
Hear me
I've learned more
Hear
from
me
you
out,
this
hear me
one
out.
episode than
I'ma
12
make-
years
I'ma
of
make
No,
it
it's
quick.
funny because
I
he be
promise
like,
you,
is
Sabrae.
anybody familiar with? Everybody be like,
Hear me out.
I'm gonna make it quick. I'm gonna give you 3 societies, right?
Okay.
The Athenian
No, talk your
government.
shit.
The Athenian government was a democracy, but their women were seen as minors, so they needed a guardian.
Shit cool.
Athenians, but
Oh, you said
their
Athenian.
women needed guardians to do anything, right? And then you have Wahhabi Islam, which is
Okay.
the most extreme version of Islam. That's Saudi Arabia. Their women can't drive. You get beheaded in the public square for adultery, apostasy, and witchcraft. All that shit, right?
Damn.
Then you have the Romans that saw their women as like a baby factory, but they gave them the best of everything because strong women produce strong babies.
100.
But check this out. The Africans never subscribed to any of that patriarchal bullshit. It was always the woman is your god. Period. And she is your co-leader, your co-creator. That is it. Period, point blank, the
That's
end.
dope as shit.
So that's the common principle I saw stringing through all of them.
Yes.
But when Islam and Christianity started infecting a lot of the African, I hate to say infecting because I want to be nice here, but that's what actually happened.
No
They
disclaimers
infected-
podcast.
I know, they actually infected those societies and then that changed the common principles of a lot of
That makes
African
sense.
people. In the same way that Cortez changed a lot of the Hispanics
Yes.
that don't know that they're Inca, Aztec, and Maya descendants.
Right.
They think that I'm Spanish and I speak Spanish and I'm a Catholic. You are not Catholic, you do not speak Spanish, and you are not Spanish.
That speaks
You build
to
them vicious ass pyramids down there that people be visiting.
The word pyramid is actually wrong. That's a Greek word. It's pyramidos.
God
Little tiny
damn.
house, little pointy topped house of cake. And it's what the
And that's
The
why
actual
we
word
don't
is
fuck
mirror.
with Christmas, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, we did just divorce. Sabrae, it's your fault. We divorced.
Okay.
I don't even know
Okay.
No,
why.
hold on. Now this nigga know everything. What's
I don't know
track
everything.
8 on Ice Cube's Death Certificate album, nigga?
Today was a good day. Like shit.
Nigga, I don't even know, but you know, nigga. I don't know.
Oh man.
Okay. Thank you for that, Cedric. Listeners,
God
I know
damn.
this is a lot to take in. I want y'all to take it in, though. Take it in.
It's a power
because
panel, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Nigga, you the power, nigga.
Yes, that's why I love
Nah, I
Cedric.
wouldn't be here without
That's why I
y'all set
love
up the
him.
show, though, man. I didn't set up this show. Sabrae had this idea. I didn't even believe she would do
But
it.
he's still smarter than me.
I ain't
Go
the
ahead.
captain of the yacht, but I'm on the boat.
Right.
No, but listen, okay.
I'm your engineer. Okay? I'm backing this ship over there tweaking your computer shit. That's what I'm doing.
So,
Let's see, y'all.
so Sean and I had an interesting conversation yesterday. We were talking about finances and with it being so close to Christmas. So Sean works in finances where he deals with a lot of people who
Premise.
overdraft a lot, people who overspending, living way beyond their means, no matter how much money they make, because they make a lot of money.
Brokies.
And now that Christmas is coming around, I really just don't. I don't celebrate Christmas, in a traditional sense of all that stuff.
Good.
But because me and my family, we make up our own traditions.
Good.
And not these white shits. But listen, I don't want us as a community to keep continuing to go broke during the Christmas season. Sean, I know you have a lot of experience with that and seeing that every day, at work. What are some things that you could speak to as far as like living beyond your means and not overspending during the Christmas season?
Man, if you pay money for groceries, eat your groceries. You do not have to be eating out like every day. I know that you got a cafeteria at your job, Starbucks, coffee. Yo, I see people they spend honestly 20% of their salary on food.
Whew.
That's crazy.
That's a
But
lot,
it's- it's-
brother.
First of all, Miss
That's a
T
low
salmon
ball
cakes
number.
over in
Yeah,
Building
and
22 at work
I'm
be
just-
fucking
I'm-
fire.
It's a low ball number.
But no, 20% is actually a lot when you think of just
But what kind of food, though? I'm really interested to know because that's something I've been trying to look
bullshit
into.
snacks.
Real quick.
It's not
You know-
organic or the
Fuck no.
the
You talking about drive-through. You talking about
okay,
drive-through
all right,
shit.
okay.
Miss
So you talking
T
about perceptive
salmon
value.
cakes at work be
Yeah.
fire. I'm sorry. I'm
Miss
getting
who?
joints every
Fat-
day.
fat-
What is it?
I said no. This is Miss
Yeah.
T, the lady that work in one of the cafeterias.
Fast food,
at my job.
like,
Them salmon
seriously,
cakes
like-
be torch.
Yo,
You get
like
them
the
joints
average
every day.
person eats fast food 3 times a week.
Okay.
That's horrible.
That's a lot.
Fast.
Is that because of the advent of what happened in the 1970s, where the women had to leave the household in order to start being the breadwinner because
No,
wages
people are
stagnated?
just lazy.
Or is it just because of that?
People are just lazy.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah, that's been something that's been interesting me for a while, but I just haven't really invested a lot
Stop
of time.
clocking my
into
chicken nugget intake. That's your fucking problem.
Yeah.
now.
what,
So
Yatta,
what
what's,
do you think is the
She got
solution
a
to
thing
fix
for
that?
chicken nuggets.
I honestly,
Like, is it education? Like, is it being more mindful of what you're spending money on? Because I try to follow,
It's
follow
that
like the
and
model
not
of shopping
being
for every 1 to
lazy.
2 days, but even I fall off that bandwagon sometimes, where I do so much in a day that sometimes it's easier for me. Because I just attended a NASB conference for 4 days, and I had to just order food at the end of the day because I was so beat, I just couldn't do it. But I also get what you're saying, so I try to cook at home a lot more. But in all honesty, what do you feel is like the most viable way to get rid of that overspending, even if it's not just on food, but overall? As a financial person, like, what do you think is the?
I definitely
modus
have
operandi?
adopted what they do in a lot of Europe countries. Like, people are just tired, long hours. You think you got to incorporate traffic where you work, so you really working 10 hours.
Man, you was just up to Eddie V's yesterday, man. Shut up.
I be there because I'm lazy. You know what I'm saying?
Convenience is the most expensive.
and convenience. Happy hours, just being sociable. So when you go out and you gotta chill with your coworkers or your friends, well, what's the point of your if you're not drinking? And then you have happy hours. Oh, you say, oh shit, I got an old fashioned for $4, but then now you buy. Since they're $4, you buy 4 of them when you probably would only bought 2.
That's
if
your
they were
part,
8,
Audrey.
you spent the same amount.
Same amount, yeah.
And then people
And the house always wins anyway.
Yeah, and then people just invest in short term and then borrowing long. People are stuck in long consumer loans or personal expense loans because they honestly do not have the money. And I just deal with signing a lot of disclosures and contracts. People do not listen. If you need money, it doesn't matter what I say at the end of this disclosure. You're gonna say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I need that. But now you're accruing extremely finance charges, you're
Compounding
paying
interest, penalties for paying early,
$7,000 more just deferring payments. Now you're basically in a hole you can never get yourself out of, and then you know that you can't get yourself out of it, so you say, fuck it. Well, I gotta live. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do anyway.
Can I tell you something cool about that though?
No.
That is a debt-based society, and that's where our dollar is based off of since the advent of the Federal Reserve Bank.
Okay.
Before that, we were on our nation's ability to print its own money at public interest. So we weren't on a debt-based income system.
Gotcha.
Check this weird fact out. So for every dollar that our nation prints, our nation owes $1.30 to the Federal Reserve, a private bank. So the more we spend, the deeper in debt we go.
Yeah.
It's a debt-based economy. Yeah. So our economy now is also debt-based. So remember when people's wages stagnated, what happened? Credit cards. Hey, credit cards. Hey, credit cards. Hey, no APR, no interest for 24 months. Transfer your balances. So people said, okay, that eases up. Now I can buy groceries and I can still buy the things I need and the things that I want. America basically, I think our economy, and I have to double-check the numbers on it, I think our economy being so heavily overburdened with spending and marketing on different things is funding a lot of the other world's economies because we import so fucking much.
Exactly.
So, Yatta, what do you with that being said and
I guess my point is
overspending
that it's hard to get rid of.
Right. And for the holiday, because it's set up that way. But with the holidays coming around the corner, what are some things that you think that people can do to avoid overspending and being in debt just for a fucking holiday?
Well, personally, I feel like if you're going to holiday shopping should be something that you kind of do throughout the year, to be honest. You got to kind of get it when you get it. If you do all this condensed spending at one time and you're not putting the money aside for one, I don't feel like you should be doing the most for Christmas anyway. And, for me, example, my daughter's birthday is in a week. And then Christmas is a month.
Shut out, Journey.
Great big it on my damn face. Look, you're not getting it all. But I've gotten to a point now as my children get older that it's not really like this, I want 30,000 toys under the tree situation.
Right.
They want one big ticket item. Yeah. And I'm okay with that depending on what it is.
Can see that.
But I have the means to do that, so I never go out. I don't spend out beyond my means regardless, point blank period.
Same.
I pay myself before I pay anything else because I have goals that I'm trying to reach. So when I say pay myself, meaning I put what I'm going to save to the side and then I budget with the rest. And it's a practice that's allowed me to stay out of a lot of, financial situations that could
be. Lifestyle.
It is. You have to adjust your lifestyle to that. And I'm willing to scale back to do that because, I have coworkers who work 2 or 3 full-time jobs just for stupid shit. Not to get by because they want to drive a Benz, because they want to do this, they want to do that. I can never do that.
Because their salary doesn't afford them their lifestyle?
No, that's not the lifestyle that they want. My thing is, our salary is I'm good. I'll put it to you like this. I got 2 kids. I work the same full-time job that they work, one of them anyway, I'm good. Yeah. So it's all about what you want.
I realize a lot of people got to keep up with the Joneses because, like, it's a huge myth, like, oh, black people just spend, like, frivolously on money. Like, no, it's, like, everybody. A lot of people...
And we're just a fancy people. We're stylish people.
Yeah, but also, it's just, like, they're spending money in different ways. So it's not like they're not spending money. So, because I see on both sides where people are asking for help, and there's somebody who makes $20,000 a year, and there's people that make $200,000. Their everyday check-in in a week and a half always has the same balance.
Well, see, what you're also saying, or what you're also saying is I think you're assuming the gross as well. So remember, we all pay federal taxes. Now, granted, it's marginal, but even though my salary is nice, it may sound good on paper. Right. What I'm taking home is not exactly that amount. The more you make, the more they take.
Yeah.
So it's like, and your bills also go up from there.
You had your turn. You can't steal everybody's turn.
No, I get we having a conversation.
Dialogue.
Now you cut. He cut my turn. I wasn't done with my turn. You kind of cut me off.
You see how women are petty because now we were starting a good conversation.
But you cut
she was
off
upset
my
at something
turn to start your turn.
So I apologize, Queen. I apologize,
It's over with, King. It's over with, King.
I love y'all.
Like you ain't let me finish my reason. No, seriously. I think that if you're the type of person who wants to go all out for these holidays, you got to start throughout the year. You got to get it done throughout the year. Yeah. If you're not going to do that, then you have to do go get a Capital or Acorns or something and put that money to the side. Like, that's how I save money absently. You'll get your turn. Hold on. That's how I save money absently. And I do, you can set up different rules with these accounts where it'll take certain money out of your account per week. Like, I do the 52-week rule. Every week it takes week 1, $1, week 2, $2, and so on and so forth. In a year, that's $1,300, $1,400 that you've blindly saved without even noticing that the money is gone.
Yes.
So you can do things like that to put the money to the side, but you shouldn't be waiting until December unless you absolutely have to, and then overloading yourself trying to buy all this stuff.
But when you save that money, every year our nation goes deeper into inflation, so that money is actually worth less.
I mean, but
it's still money to the side. I mean,
it definitely is. Money is just very complicated. The monetary system is a beast that was created for great reasons, but corrupted in the 1930s by wicked men on Jekyll Island.
100%. No, honestly,
nigga, we need you on every show for a fact check.
Once a year,
nigga, every episode.
I want to know your take on spending for Christmas, budgeting, just overall financial literacy, as far as making sure you have money. You're not going into debt just to do extra shit.
Break it down, brother.
I live in Brooklyn, New York, so I'm perpetually in debt.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's how I live, man.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I chose this life, But I will say that, as far as maturing and realizing realizing the shift in your priorities, you grow up and they put you out off the porch and you go into the world and you bump your head, you know what I'm saying? You make moves that are not your best moves and you learn from them in hindsight. But for that reason, for understanding, changing where my priorities lie, Christmas ain't a big deal for me. Christmas never was okay, cool, this is where we getting the big presents, we doing this and that. The first thing I thought about,
even in your childhood,
what you really want, cool, we can do that. But as far as the institution of Christmas, every holiday that exists in America is made for capitalism. So
it's consumerism.
You know what I'm saying? It's a reason that
from a pagan root.
It's a reason that voting is not a holiday. Because Sabrae, I know this is your issue, you know what I'm saying, voting, but it's not a holiday because it's not in the interest of capitalism.
Right.
People need to
still be... on facts, too, because Veterans Day sale, Labor Day sale.
I speak on facts.
Yeah.
I came here, I requested to be here. So, all of them joints are things that Christmas included. It's made to make us spend the money that we don't need to be spending, and I can invest in my relationship with my loved ones the same way that I do on Christmas throughout the year.
Yes.
That might not fly if you got a kid or a partner and y'all working towards something, and that's cool, but I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation where, I don't have to. I can literally be like, man, that Christmas shit is garbage. I'm not really about to...
Let me ask you this unintended consequence question then. So what would happen if more people started to adopt that model in terms of the economic viability of the nation?
They'll find enough.
Because remember, GDP is a culmination of transactions in our nation.
They would absolutely... It would be
what other way would it be? Because if we're talking about remolding behavioral impulses of people, then we have to give a viable solution.
Hey, white supremacists don't stop thinking.
No, but check this out.
We got to get on that same wave.
But if we say a problem, we have to say a solution.
Twice already
we
today.
Do, okay.
3 times,
so
actually.
I would say my solution for capitalist holidays, is to create your own fucking holiday and do it your way, with what's conducive for your family.
What,
which
Kwanzaa?
is not Is that a made up holiday already, or is that
everything?
something that you make?
Isn't everything made up?
But what I'm saying that
put your
that's
kids
already
in foster
something
care
known.
until January 2nd.
Listen,
don't
make
expect
up
me to
your
build
own.
shit.
Make your because a lot of times when I talk about not celebrating Christmas, a lot of people say, "Oh, your kids are missing out. Your child is going to miss out on
they
this and
not.
miss out on
They
that."
You're lying to
No,
your children if you
because-
celebrate Christmas.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And my
hold
thing
on.
is, you can always create your own
But that's-
customs
that-
and traditions in your own house.
But
that they
first of
would
all,
still
I be
like.
lying to my kid all the time anyway.
No,
so don't make it say.
no.
So that's not a reason not to buy gifts.
But no, I'll say this because I gave
y'all
like,
parents,
my daughter.
we be lying.
I gave Journey like a solid 5 years of this Santa bullshit, and I was like, "Hey, I ain't even gonna hold you." I
keep it real with you,
buying the
Chief.
gifts.
But
Chief.
you know what?
She was like, "I kind of knew, but," and I'm just like, Mom,
Imagination
just
is healthy, but responsible dissemination of
Yes.
information.
No, I needed
is
it wasn't even
more
about
healthy.
her. I needed my credit. Fuck that. All this money I spent on these
Even
fucking
And
gifts.
this
if
Give
it wasn't
me
for
my
that, though.
fucking credit.
Yeah,
But
because
even-
mom and dad work hard.
I
Yeah.
bought
This
that
is what I
iPad.
bought for you. Yeah.
But even with that, like,
Well, I said mom and dad isn't
No,
like
I
just
know, I was being an asshole, sorry.
either way.
But even with that, like, I understand that because some of the listeners, some of your kids are already accustomed to a certain thing, and you may or may not want to change it up by now. I decided to do this when my child was not even born yet. So what I'm saying is, you can still create your own special moments and different traditions that you do that your
Absolutely.
kids can pass down to their kids.
Ain't Riley's birthday like Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
I see why you did it. Fuck that.
That's not what. No,
I mean,
it's about that. But yes,
I
now's the
No,
time.
I'm being a dick
Back
after
to
the
back.
fact. But but fuck that. And honestly,
I would've
if
hey.
I hadn't done that, I would have did it to look.
I would have did both. If I was still on that same wavelength, I would have did both. You know
what I
just
noticed about
would've-
you now, Sabrae?
Yeah.
Is that you about the reestablishment of black independence unapologetically with pride. And that's not necessarily to say that we hate anyone else, but what I see in you is what I saw in myself as well when I started getting on this path. And I'm still on that same tip.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I told you before. My last name is the name that I traced down that belonged to a French slave owner. And I've made the decision that I'm changing my last name. I'm dropping it. I'm respecting my bloodline of my parents and my brothers, not of the slave owner that owned my family. So it's about reestablishing my own identity in the land that I am now in. So what I like about you is that you're not talking about, oh, let's just move back to Africa and reestablish all the old school African stuff. It's just let's make our new identity here of things that are for us, with us, by us.
Yes.
Kind of like the FUBU model, but just not as tacky.
Oh,
Yes,
You know what I mean?
because ain't no need of moving from here, moving back to Africa. Our ancestors shed too much blood here.
On this land building
On
it.
this land. This is our fucking shit too.
But you won't vote.
Is your land.
Yeah, because nobody's talking to me. I'm not going to vote for nobody who's not talking to me.
No,
That's one thing I
or
want
just
you to
finesse
strongly
your kids.
consider, though.
I will
Or
try
just
to think
finesse your
about it.
kids. To be honest, because I'm at a stage
no.
right now where
I
my
have a
daughter.
solution.
Let me tell you something. My son
Journey, you're
always get
getting
a
a
bad
shopping
report card
spree
around
for your,
Christmas.
Yeah.
for your
Nigga, you're not
birthday
getting
on
nothing.
Christmas.
You
You're
gonna
getting
bring these
clothes.
badass grades.
But I
Finesse
have
your
a
kids into
solution.
liking
Even-
clothes because you was going to buy them fall clothes anyway.
I have a solution, though. I'm not
Yeah.
just saying I'm not voting. I am going to start a collective voting pool or whatever you want to call it, where we vote as a block and we raise that money through whether
When?
it's $5 or $10
I
a
thought you
month.
wasn't giving the white
through a
people the
mechanism.
tea, man. Come on, what you doing?
Oh, are we giving who? I don't give a fuck what you look like.
That's
if
not
you
really-
want to
that's not
do
even a
what we
secret
want you
plan.
to do,
I was being.
if we
Yeah.
do what you want, if you no, I'm talking about. I'm
Interesting.
asking them some questions.
No, I was being.
about that.
I was being a dick. Let me be a dick.
Yeah,
Damn.
okay, but yes. I am gonna. I'm not just voting and just like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do anything. No, I have a solution cooking up for you niggas, okay? And y'all better back me up when I do it instead of blindly backing these.
How do we get back to
Democrats.
voting again now?
Oh, I'm just saying. Okay.
Hey, hold on.
Basically, I have a solution.
So,
that's what I'm
so
saying.
I shouldn't vote for you just because you're my podcast mate and my barber?
It's not about being. It's not.
Yeah. Because I don't give a fuck.
But
That's right.
am I saying something that's going to be in your best
I'm not
interest?
paying attention to that shit. It's just like if you post a picture, I don't care if I like it, but you my folks, so I gotta like it.
I don't buy.
Here's why that's dangerous. Here's why that's
right
dangerous.
past your shit.
So I'm gonna spin something from way back in the day that everybody seems to have forgotten: net neutrality. So what
yes,
happened is
yeah,
that the
tell us
Supreme
about
Court decided not to hear the case.
So net neutrality
But
meaning monetizing the internet and all that.
yeah, that was
Okay.
lucky though, because here's the thing: is Kavanaugh had to recuse himself because he made a decision on the lower D.C. Court of Appeals that said that removing establishment of net neutrality rules would violate the ISP's right to free speech. Did y'all understand the context there?
No.
So what he's saying is he had to recuse himself from the Supreme Court case because he made that determination. Had he not made that and been on the Supreme Court, he would have voted that same way. but from a Supreme Court level. So net neutrality affects us all. If this podcast gets big enough in that way,
Nick, hold on.
If your ISP comes to you and says, "Hey,
you want to be back on the show, right?"
I feel you. I correct it. Okay, but if your ISP comes in and says, "Hey, I see what you're talking about over there, but we got our own little podcast thing over here. You got to pay for some bigger access."
Yeah.
And if you don't pay, they slow down your channel to the point where it's unreachable. You know what I mean? So like that decision is happening right now at the Supreme Court level.
Oh yeah, I don't have a strong foundation. I'm jumping ship.
But check me out here. So but how many people aren't aware that even happened? Gorsuch also had to recuse himself because he owns stock in Time Warner, which is who? AT&T, another mega company. So I wonder who's giving everybody money, right? So when you have all these justices that are also corrupted in that same way, and we're not aware of that, and you allow the president to put these people in place, and the Senate to confirm them, and the House to confirm them, not knowing is not your best friend. Pulling away from the system, Sabrae, is not your best friend. Sometimes you gotta vote for that D, just because. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Time out.
Know me.
You gotta vote for the Democrat. Y'all fuckers, man. Time out.
You gotta vote for that.
Petey Pablo.
You gotta vote for that.
Sometimes you gotta vote for the Democrat because they're gonna block that agenda out of pettiness.
Yeah.
Right? Just because so sometimes you have to play that 3-dimensional chess.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
It's a show title.
So check it out. So check it out. So check it out. I know, right?
Featuring Young Jeopardy.
Young Jeopardy.
Fuck y'all. That was childish. But sometimes you gotta take a little bit of it. No, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't watched it lately because the life has just been a flurry of activity.
Yeah, get with it.
But I used to watch it a lot when it was like live, and it was like hilarious.
Oh, we going back live.
Live.
We going back the fuck live.
Live.
Just wait on it.
All I'm saying is, nigga, you could be preaching.
No, seriously, like, how do you
my
know
nigga now? So if you running, I'm voting for you. I'm like, yep, that's my nigga. I'm voting.
Look, my old boss. Well, first, my family's always. Well, my family's has always allowed me to expand that area of my life. But also, my previous boss, Denzel Allen, was another person that was just all about information, all about the truth, all about knowledge. So it's I never stopped that path. Because in my mind, you cannot really govern yourself accordingly in the best interest of yourself or your people if you're not fully aware and conscious of what's going on within you and around you. And that goes down to the food you eat, which is why I became a vegan. That goes down to what you put in your body. That's why I stopped drinking for 2 years. Remember, Sabrae?
Yes.
I stopped eating candy as well. Like, I completely changed everything so that I could reevaluate my placement in this life.
Yeah.
And then from that standpoint,
did you stop fucking in 2 years?
Are you back?
No,
that shit really...
sex is not really a negative thing unless you overuse it.
Are you back drinking?
It's like porn. So if you overuse it, you will cause damage to your receptors in your brain that handle the pleasure principle. Which is why a lot of people are chasing that white dragon by watching so much porn.
You clean that up real quick. Hold up. Getting the cheeks is nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's perfectly fine.
But if you say you overuse it, but you don't think we overuse it?
Overuse what?
Pussy.
Well, pussy is definitely overused, just like for women, dick is overused. It goes both ways.
Yeah, I mean,
we got another topic.
Who said that?
But let's not get into it. We've been talking about sex for the past like 3 weeks.
It goes both ways.
That's the Sabrae hoe ass fault.
Speaking of,
oh, shot across the bow.
Sorry, I was a hoe in my past life.
Life happens.
Back when I was
Sabrae just came back from Costa Rica. She walking different. Shout out to my nigga Chris.
Hey yo,
that's my nigga. That's my nigga.
That's tight.
So, listen. Shout out to our male listeners. Okay, I know we have majority of our listeners are males.
Shit, man. You ruining the name of the show.
No, I just want to shout them out. I love them. Shout out to you, King and Queens, but I'm saying specifically the King.
Ooh, that was a good play on words.
Yeah. So Yatta, down low brothers. Let us know what we talking about right now.
Oh my God! There's like this.
I got some heat for y'all.
There's like this influx of trades, and it's like super
influx?
wild.
Trades is the new term, which I didn't know.
Y'all know what a trade is.
Hold on, but is that politically incorrect? Is trade like a negative
because they don't have a letter in the LGBT, so they don't count.
That's what the T is. Trade. It's like no.
Then what is the T for? Trade.
She almost took you seriously for a second.
Honestly, she was like. No, seriously. This is the thing. So there have been like some circumstances of men, living these down low lifestyles. Shut your ass up. Living these double lifestyles and stuff like that. And I mean, like personally, I feel like, hey, far be it for whatever tickles your pickle. But when you're being deceptive about shit like that, I can't really fuck with it because I feel like that's a deal breaker for a lot of people.
But
it's
you're
women
limited. Everybody's deceptive.
And I know that, but we talking about this specific instance, and I feel like that's for you to make that type of decision for somebody is extremely selfish because it's women out here who, hey, they're not willing to deal with or sleep with or be involved with men who sleep with other men, and that's their prerogative to make that choice.
Facts.
So I feel like it's the same as if you were dealing with somebody who's trans or something like that. It's things you need to disclose, and you gotta let the chips fall where they may because same way it's men out here, it's men out here that's willing to date women who are trans, it's men out here who not.
Yeah,
and it's not your choice to make. So when you do something like that and you out here sneak dicking, I can't really get with it.
I'm gonna scare y'all with this. Why is it someone else's business to know who else I deal with? Because that means everything has to be transparent. Because maybe I don't want to deal with you if your credit score is fucked up. So how about if you got a 600?
All that shit goes out the window.
And that's fine. But
hold on. No interruptions. No Deion Sanders because you was talking, right? So if a man is dealing with another man, if a man is dealing with another man and he likes to deal with women, why is that priority? Why must he reveal that to the woman? That's not none of her business because that's not her preference. So now I have to basically put everything out on the table to let you know, okay, what you can deal with, what you can't. Who does that?
Because first of all, if I'm intimate with you, sweetheart, then your intimacy habits and your questionable sexual habits do become my business.
Why is that?
The same way if you out here having reckless raw sex with a bunch of joints and then you having raw sex with me, I kind of need to know.
So you be having
because
after she finished.
But what I'm saying is when you cross those lines with somebody and it's you need to disclose that information, especially when it's under circumstances that are could be. That's why you're concealing it because it could be, it's a deal breaker. Yeah. You know that it could be a deal breaker, so you hide it because of that.
So there's nothing that you conceal. There's nothing that you conceal when you're dating.
Not like that.
But so now we're deciding what the importance of the information
because
that we need to
there's a
provide.
difference between I have morning breath and I fuck niggas on the side. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same thing.
I mean,
I'm a very transparent person, so I'm really not the person to have that argument with.
So, but are you? So is it just because it's men or other women? Because like
I feel like if you're doing that, period, whether it's women sleeping with other women and you're not being honest about it,
she sounds like she's more so hitting that person's choice thing, and also the hygienic
you're stealing their autonomy to make those decisions.
So hygienic, when you say that, so what are we referencing?
So what she's saying is like if you're he said no, well you said your sexual habits. So even if you're dating a woman, right? But I'm talking about me. If I'm dating a woman and fucking another woman on the side, that's still not right as well. You know what I mean? None of that shit is right. So I get what you're saying from a hygienic standpoint as well.
Just keep that shit above,
it's about a disclosure, yeah.
Would you have anything to say about
it's about being open about what you're doing.
I don't think
is what she's saying.
To disagree with what Yatta is saying, I don't think that those are in the same boat. When you say that you need to know if somebody's having unprotected sex with another person while you sleeping with them, cool. But that's not, you can't really compare that to who I've dated. I'm not dating nobody else. If I'm bisexual and I'm dating a woman, if I dated a man before, that has nothing to do with who I'm dating right now. And sometimes people not comfortable with sharing those parts of their lives. There's people out here who ain't came out to their family. So why I gotta come out to my partner? You dig what I'm saying? Especially when I'm dating you right now. It ain't about who else I dated.
Like I said, at the end of the day, for you to be secretive of something like that, honestly, implies that you feel like it's something wrong with it. For real, if we're going to be honest. Second of all, that is a deal breaker for a lot of women. And when you decide not to disclose that information, you steal my autonomy to make decisions in my own life.
Question though.
So if you tell me that and I'm like, okay, what if my logic is, well, you're not dealing with them now, you're dealing with me now. Then all of this was for nothing. But if I feel like I personally don't want to sleep with men that sleep with other men, that is my choice. And I feel like...
How would he know if you have not expressed that to him? You're assuming that he should just know that you have an issue with that.
No, I didn't say that. I'm assuming that you should be honest so that you can find out if I have an issue about it or not.
Another important thing, though, is that if I'm dating you exclusively, why you care about who I dated? But that's like if I had sex with my homegirl over there at the party you don't necessarily need to know that if that was 3 years ago. Like, that don't affect our relationship.
Well, by that, yeah, that's for you to say. But I don't know what you brought. Okay, by that logic, I could say, okay, so the woman who you're dating exclusively now used to fuck a man with HIV. I feel like you would want to know that. You
absolutely should know that.
You would want to know that. Why is that your business? Why is that your business? What if she took the medication that lowers her chances of getting it? Why is that your business?
That's something that from a woman too. So you're not like actively wanting to know what every woman that you slept with. Anytime you have sex, you are putting yourself in danger. It doesn't matter.
The hygienic risk.
You know, it's not just sex that transfers everything in this world, right?
Nigga, you about to tell me? I ain't know that, but what else, nigga?
Right.
It's a
you can touch a doorknob and you can contract some wicked shit. Just the same ways. Like, so sex is commonly
Can I die from it?
Yes.
Okay.
We live in an age of gram-negative bacteria.
How the fuck am I supposed to open the door then?
No.
Because you ain't touched one of them doors yet.
I'm about to give you this. There's a YouTube channel I want you all to watch. It's called CBC Marketplace. They are real investigative journalists.
CSSL Network.
And they go hard in the paint, dealing with a lot of heavy issues that American journalists seem to be afraid to hit on. So what I will tell you this, and this is not something I got from this. This is something I've known for a long time. Gram-negative bacteria versus gram-positive bacteria. Gram-negative means that it is armored bacteria, superbugs, which means that you can die of the common cold, you can die of E. coli. These things are more resistant to change. So what happens is gram-positive basically means that it's a house, but all the windows are open, the door is open, and it's made out of like plywood. Very easy to destroy and to compromise, right? And you're holding $1 million in it. It's very easy to fuck it up. Armored bacteria, which is gram-negative, is that same strain, right? But its inner core is protected completely.
Okay.
So I'll give you a common example. E. coli is not supposed to be able to survive on a dry surface. Okay. It can now.
So it's mutated.
And it's also resistant to antibiotics.
Men and women at the same time. That's why.
But what I'm getting at is I'm getting at the argument of the hygiene part. So it's like the sexually transmitted diseases part is one thing that is definitely right to disclose. But at the same time, I really want to try to create the narrative that people need to be mindful of what I always say in my head. We all say we seek the truth, but how often do you lie? To yourself, to others, to everyone else, to all this, to everything in that capacity. Like so what I mean is like, is any one lie better than the other? So I'll ask you all this common question, right? Yeah. And I want you to think about it. Don't answer it here today. And it's also for your viewers.
Women lie better than men. Go ahead.
They do. That's scientific fact.
That's just what I asked.
Scientific fact. No.
That's because with the exception of Cedric, y'all stupid.
Nigga, sit next to this nigga.
Jeopardy.
Yeah, I am stupid. Sit next to this nigga. Put me next to.
Okay, ask the question so we can get.
Sit me next to a different nigga. The fuck?
You stupid.
Wow. Man, she completely took me out of it. I don't even remember it now.
Okay.
Young Jeopardy.
So let me say this. To answer this. It may not make that much logical sense to demand men or women to disclose their sexual history. Now, by the way, too.
Remember, you used the word logic and women in the same sentence. So go ahead.
Yes, right.
I smacked the shit out. So
while it may not be it may be like some.
No one took that serious.
While it may be some like hypocritical, shit with that. Let me speak for all women and say, we want to know. Men want to. I think men should know. I don't know if men want to know if you. But
I can respect that because you're coming out and fully saying it. Like a lot of women would like duck and like, because this reason. Just say you want to know if the nigga done sucked the dick before.
But that too. It's all. But it's part of that. That's one of the reasons. But I've listed all of those reasons though. But the reason why you can't seem to understand it or why you could argue the contrary is because if you find out your bitch was hitting other bitches, you probably like, let me watch. So you don't get the same.
I'm not into that, actually.
I'm not into that either.
No.
If I can just to distinguish the difference here, I think what I'm speaking to is that I'm not talking about nothing that's happening at the same time. What you did before me, what you did before
you're
I met you.
You're talking about not in a relationship.
Yeah, I'm not. If you bisexual and we dating now, I need to know. I need to know whoever you dating. If you heterosexual, if we talking. But if you talking about a man that got his dick sucked before by a dude.
Yeah, I need to know.
But it didn't. It don't have nothing to do with you.
You know why it has nothing to do with me? Because when you come home smelling like basketball shorts,
that's why I'm saying.
I'm gonna know that it's not from you hooping. It's from you sucking dick.
But that's what I'm saying that I'm not saying. Is that
the point
if it's before me, then I'm not tripping.
So I need to know if you had a lunch date with another nigga. I need to know that as well. I'm asking.
Somebody you if you sucked another dude dick in the past, who's to stop you from sucking dick again in the future?
But by that proxy. That's the same as you. We working on trust here in a relationship.
But we could
You
say
said
it's
the same about me and a woman.
But we could say it's the same about a lot of things, but we're not talking about those things. We're talking about this one isolated issue right here. You could compare it to 100 million things, and all of that would be accurate as far as you could have done this before. And guess what? I want to know about that too. But I'm talking about you sucking dick.
So would you
if you sucked a dick before, I got a problem with that.
That's what makes it discriminatory. Is that it's the one thing that you have a problem with, even if the next thing
but you have to understand that everybody has deal breakers.
But that was just in their past.
Everyone has deal breakers.
So why is it?
I agree.
Why is
just
a
saying
man
it's discriminatory
for you? If a man has dealt with another man before you, why is that a deal breaker?
Because I want to date 100% heterosexual men.
Okay, cool.
That's my preference.
Okay, cool.
And look,
and it's no shade if you date bisexual men. That's your business. That's you. Everyone has their personal preference.
Love is love.
I would prefer not to. Yeah. So I would like to know these.
Love is love, but discrimination is also discrimination. So
I don't feel like it's but it's a preference. You might like red
discrimination is not discrimination.
That's what I'm saying. But it is discrimination.
Can come from a discriminatory place.
Yeah, I'm not
sometimes we can be biased.
But discrimination is not necessarily.
But you'll be blown because a white woman said that she don't want to date a black man. Don't want to date a black man because her preference is a white man.
No, I don't.
If a white person says, I don't want to date anybody black, I prefer to date anybody, I'm like, that's what's up, my brother, that's because kind of I feel the same way about my people. I don't want to date somebody.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
And to hold that up to the same light
as... But it's not in a means of discriminatory. It's more so like I look at it like this. If I don't want to date men who date other men, I don't feel like it's
I 100% respect that. I'm just saying that if I did that before I met you, it don't matter.
But do you just eliminate your attraction for men, or how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm saying this. I'm speaking from a heterosexual male standpoint.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So you can't really cape for that too hard.
I can cape for being kind to your partner and cutting off what your partner did before you to what's going on.
That's what I did. So, like I said, I was dating a woman that used to date women. So I mean, I know what that's like as well.
I don't know who.
I just didn't care.
I don't know anybody that discloses everything they did everything in their past.
Nobody ever
bring up.
No one.
That's fine, but I feel like
you're basically putting that
specific, darling.
Yeah, because it's important to you. How about if it's not important to them to disclose it? Where's the compromise? Where's the?
My thing is, I feel like you're not even. How would you know that it's not important if you don't?
So if a nigga asks you, have you ever got G? You wouldn't be disrespected?
No,
I would just be like,
G like shit.
Okay, I asked y'all to get on the show. Nah, you not.
I'll tell you this much.
Has a train ever been ran on you? Because I want to fuck with a bitch who done hit 3 niggas at the same time.
And I'm gonna be like, well, you're in luck, my nigga, because no.
You ain't cut that nigga.
I know I'm not.
We all have our red lines. My red line
has their line in the sand. I'm not gonna be offended by that.
If you're religious, I can't fuck with you. So we all have our red line.
So
I mean, everybody has it. So I'll ask you this question that I want to ask you specifically.
My red line is if you don't.
But this is for everyone though. Check this out.
My red line is if
Yatta,
you do.
Yatta though. Hear me out, Yatta. Hear me out. And that's on this topic and many more as well. I want to ask you this directly. Okay. I don't want you to answer it now. I want you to think about this also for everybody else as well. Is it just right to start a war with truth or to live in peace with the lie?
This shit sound like a fortune cookie.
Man, let me tell you something. It's cheaper to keep
her. Don't answer it.
Let's go.
It's cheaper to keep her.
Don't rash answer it. Take that one home with you. It's a very loaded question.
True.
Is it just to start a war with the truth or to live in peace with the lie?
I'm ready.
Truth. I can answer that without.
Because I feel like a lot of the logic is that women can't handle the truth.
Nigga.
But a lot of most of the men that say that routinely never give women the opportunity.
Let me tell you,
honest.
if you're a heterosexual man, your answer to that is lie with peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
But like I said,
that's why it's such a loaded question.
I feel like a lot of the people who feel like someone like women y'all can't handle the truth is typically, and of course it's not all encompassing, but in my own experience, the main people that say that are typically the ones who never give you that chance. Who constantly lie.
Men societally get taught to sheathe their emotions.
But that's what I'm saying. So they'll lie to you all day.
We don't cry, none of that. So we internalize all of that anyway.
They will lie to you and then tell you can't handle the truth. But it's like, when have you ever given me the opportunity to handle the truth if you always lie?
Sometimes you have to take away the option from a woman because you know she's going to pick the bad one.
I say from people.
Don't take the option away from me if you out here sucking dick.
I say from people.
You need to go close that ASAP.
Well, we circling on this one. This was a very, very interesting topic. We're going to revisit this one day. Representation for gay, trans, etc. And this is a question that Yatta had. And it's like, is representation, does it really matter, or is it a participation trophy? Yatta, I want you to expand on that, please.
I honestly think that it is a bit of a participation trophy. Don't get me wrong. It's not to say that representation doesn't matter. But you have to understand that it's not going to happen in every single outlet or facet of life. Like, okay, so for example, I was on Twitter today, and there was a girl, she is both plus size and trans, and she was like pandering to Victoria's Secret, like, hey, you need to have trans and plus size models on your runway, and I can work this bikini and everything. She was in a wheelchair. I was kind of like,
so why she advocate for handicap?
But see, that part too.
Ain't gonna get
but
it.
I feel like that was probably the big, honestly, it's all about those buzzwords, but I feel like that was the bigger issue and everything is, sweetie, and not to say that there aren't models in wheelchairs, but never seen one hit the Victoria's Secret runway.
Yeah.
But either way, so Victoria's Secret had kind of posted up some information that basically alluded to, okay, look, we have Lane Bryant as our sister company. We've catered to the plus size audience. Have we considered it before as far as trans? Yes, but look, our fashion shows are a fantasy. We market to who we sell to. So if you're not who we sell to, then everybody has their size span. Every single clothing line does not offer plus size clothes. So if Victoria's Secret is not offering the plus size thong, sweetheart, they're not going to market to plus size women.
But they transgender, so they're gonna need chaps.
Okay, Ron, what are your thoughts on that?
Why don't you just shut your ass?
What is your yes?
Thong with the dick hole.
The dick holes in them.
So they can swap it out.
The dick holes. Why is dick holes so funny?
Chaps threw me off. Can you repeat the question? Chaps threw me way off.
Representation, is it always necessary with everything? Representation.
I think the culture that we live in this day and age where there's so much access, there's an excess amount of access. So like it's such a cancellation and fake angry, fake rage culture. Mm-hmm. Like people just look for the next thing to be up in arms about and be like, oh, y'all gotta have somebody in a wheelchair, plus size, wearing a thong, going down the runway, and it's like
with a dick.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a dick, do your thing, bro. I don't watch them joints anyway. But I'm just saying, joints anyway. Respect, but that just because you don't see yourself or certain aspects of yourself in this advertisement doesn't mean that it's nothing that exists for you.
Right.
It don't mean that it ain't a place for you in consumerism, because trust me, they want your money.
Yes.
Somebody out there made that for you. Somebody got that for you to buy.
Still buying
so
the
just because Adriana Lima walking down the runway and she not on crutches doesn't mean it's not somewhere that person can go to acquire that. We just want to be mad at shit.
I think representation can be overrated in certain places.
So, Bray, would you be mad if there was no like robe models?
Yes.
She had that Harry Potter joint on last week.
Yes.
Are you still talking about that?
Yes.
I've seen it.
Look, even
the Crushed Velvet joint.
I feel very, very triggered because I definitely got my Shaft joint on today.
You got your Gryffindor on today.
You got to. First of all, last week, that was 2 weeks ago. I had on a hoodie and it wasn't long.
So Bray, we like, first of all, there's no pro-black models advocating for robes. Like, I have to do it with this brand.
You know what? Instead of bitching and whining about it, I'll go buy a robe and take a picture on Instagram 100. And promote that motherfucker myself. Okay? I don't need representation for everything.
I do think that we kind of derive this society of participation trophies where everyone gets a prize for being there. Like, I just think that it's kind of lame for real, because everything's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
And you can't expect to see you or your representation in every single little facet of life. It's not going to happen. I think it's all
about scale.
Yeah, and the woman, the transgender woman, she should just be... Doesn't she identify as a woman? There's plenty of women representation. They don't represent for men. You don't see a lot of men being marketed to.
You're talking about specialization.
Then on top of that, she wasn't even cute.
Right? It's all about specializations.
Right.
It was like way more other fights in front of this fight. Like, sweetie, first of all, you don't even look good. So there's that.
That's not. To be honest, in my mind, I hate to segue the conversation, but that fight doesn't matter for shit. In relationship to the biggest issue that's facing our world right now. I don't know. Has anybody read the IPCC climate report?
No.
No, we have not.
Nigga,
you knew we ain't read that shit, man.
Nigga, she's so entitled, bro.
You don't get your goddamn.
He knew damn well we didn't read that shit.
I caught what I said after y'all said no.
I don't know why you be asking us, but go ahead. What about
I'm not used to it. I'm used to talking to myself. Okay.
Nigga, you can talk to
but
us.
now It's like that. It's like all these little micro fights are cool, and it's like I get it that they're important. I don't want to devalue their importance. That's facts. But at the same time, we're at a stage now where all the coral reefs are dying at an exponentially fast pace. A lot of the Atlantic seafood categories are down to their last 5%. We only started tracking them in the 1950s. Yeah, North Atlantic salmon is one of them. Bluefin tuna, sharks, all of those things are becoming wild.
What about crabs?
Rays.
What them joints doing?
Well, let me tell you about crabs.
Hold on.
Don't entertain her.
I'm gonna tell you the short version.
Yeah.
Crabs are sentient. Crabs feel pain. When you're boiling a crab, they feel pain.
I don't care about none of that.
First of all, I don't do that.
I'm giving you all that.
But what condition is their livelihood in right now? Are they endangered or
it's in the back? They're getting smaller and smaller, and we're farming them faster and faster, and they cannot reproduce fast enough.
All right, we got.
So what we're doing now is
these crabs fuck for the better. Like
it's not even just that. It's also what's being done. So we all live on the bay, right? So you guys eat bay crabs?
Oh, I can't.
I eat the crab leg. I'm not with the full torture.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to eat the whole thing.
It don't matter, bro. The chicken farmers largely dump excrement inside the Chesapeake Bay, right?
So
and as it decays,
crabs and chicken.
And as it decays, that's a chicken shit. So as it decomposes, algae eats it and causes oceanic dead zones and also other pollutants inside of the ocean. And crabs like to feed on all that scrap type shit anyway, and then you eat crabs. The subtle energy of food becomes your mind. That came from the Upanishads. Yeah. The subtle energy of food becomes your mind. So if you're eating shitty food, you become a shitty person.
He is.
Well, we eat pork and they eat shit too, but that bacon be.
No, don't say we. I don't eat pork.
Who eat pork?
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about us.
First of all,
I had some good bacon
you don't.
this
So you
morning.
don't eat. So you ain't.
So how you know that?
Many animals.
How you know that plant? How you know like a bee didn't shit on that plant you ate?
Bees don't shit.
Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah, he got it. Put him on Jeopardy, Slim.
What if it was a fly who ate shit and then landed on your plant, and then you ate the plant
Put
with
the
the shitty
nigga on
fly?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, bro.
Son, you too smart.
I've heard a lot of these arguments before, so it's very easy to
I feel like he came back at
me.
me too quick. I feel like bees probably shit them.
They don't shit.
They might, but he
Okay, how you know we eat shit on that plant?
What would a bee eat that would make him shit?
Pollen. Pollen give you
Bees
the runs.
regurgitate pollen back
Pollen
into their
give you the
coats, but they don't
runs.
shit.
I heard pollen give you the runs.
So
But
how
you know Sean didn't go shit on the plant you ate on the corn cob?
Manure is used on plants, but what the plants do to the shit or the manure is they transform it. Cows do not transform it. They do not transform
it. So
it.
you just ate some cow duty corn. You wild as shit.
Okay.
No, wait. I got a petty response. So do you know what the cows are fed?
I don't care. I'm still eating the motherfuckers. They delicious.
There you go. So they're fed GMO cornstarch, like cornmeal, right?
But not real.
And so they're fed a hyper dosage of GMO corn. Now let me tell you what they're putting on it. They're putting Roundup Ready. First of all, they're using a Monsanto strain of corn called Roundup Ready. So what that means is that you can grow the corn and you can dump a shitload of chemicals on it. It kills everything else, including the soil. But guess what's going to keep on growing? The corn. So the bioaccumulation factor states that anything you dump on an organic thing, it will be absorbed by the living thing. So if you feed a cow that shit for its entire short lifespan, and you also give it that pain and detriment as well, right? And then you kill that cow and you eat it, what are you consuming? The subtle energy of food becomes your mind.
The makings of a fat ass.
Tomahawk
God
with the
bless.
black truffles. I'm transitioning over not eating like red meat and pork. But
That's where it starts.
But the sea roaches, the shrimp and the shit, yeah.
You said the sea roaches.
That's from the health aspect of it. The sentience of those beings is another argument altogether.
Hold on.
Look, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know,
Ron, you had something to say. You had something that was heavy on your heart. I want you to bring it to the show.
My subject.
Yeah.
Do it,
wasn't. I mean.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
as a
okay. It was heavy
transition,
on my heart. I seen it being discussed in circles a lot. The term is it's not new. It's something that has gone on for a long time since pop culture has become prominent or a mainstay.
Say it.
Like, you know what I mean? Nigger fishing.
oh my
What is
God.
that?
I just.
I'm surprised.
Oh!
I'm surprised you didn't say that.
Come on.
Just say something that Cedric don't know.
Guys,
This nigga don't know what nigga fish is.
I don't know what nigga fish
We
is.
gonna learn you
Is that
today.
catfishing?
Why you don't have a sound effect for that?
You need to drop a bomb on that shit.
First of all,
Like,
Bomb.
seriously, is that like catfishing?
hold on, nigga, you don't know what nigga fish is.
Ah, man. I told you I don't know everything. I don't know anything, man.
First of all, Sean, you don't either.
First of all, I knew it at 3:12 after we talked. Okay.
I knew it before 3:12, but I'm surprised you didn't bring that up. Honestly,
Yeah.
Well,
it's right up your alley.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know
Shout out to
about
Riley.
it. I know about it.
Well, Cedric,
I just didn't know that it had a name.
nigger fishing.
I thought it was just trolling, but
is
hold on.
essentially.
Yeah, I wanted.
Can I just also say that it'd be real cool if we refer to it as black fishing. It sounds flyer and it's not giving people the right to say the nigga with the ER on the end. So
fuck
like,
with
let's
that.
just reclaim that, swerve that to the right
Blackfish
real
is
quick.
like orcas, so
Right,
we
but
can
like
take
just
that
for the
wrong way,
catchiness
but-
of it, like
All right, black
it's,
fishing.
you know what I'm saying? It's where to take it from Yatta. It's where women or men, particularly women in this case, we're not seeing it. It's where women portray or make themselves women who are not black women, make themselves out or accentuate certain features to look like women of color or black women.
Oh, like Rachel.
Yeah,
Rachel
Rachel Dolezal.
But you know what I mean?
that's-
I think there
Kinda
are certain levels. This is a more like aesthetic based level. Rachel actually was on the NAACP. I'm not giving her credit. I'm just saying like she wanted to be a black person.
Oh, but this one is
not wanting to
they
look
wanted-
like a
Exactly.
black
And
person.
they essentially want to look black or at the very least mixed or racially ambiguous.
racially
You
ambiguous.
can't look
So
black.
they're putting
Nothing you can do
people
to
are-
give you that melanin.
people are doing it.
looky here. I'm
People
trying
are
to
doing
tell
it.
you.
Some
I
of
can
these
show you
bitches
some of
be
these.
looking black.
Look. These bitches be lily white. If you go back 167 weeks on Instagram, these bitches look like Rebecca from HR.
There's-
How
And
do they fake melanin?
But
There's
then
a lot of heavy tanning.
heavy tanning,
That doesn't fake
makeup,
melanin.
Lip
darkening. But you wouldn't know from a photo. We not
Oh,
hanging
you're talking
out
about
with
just
these.
total.
Yeah,
So
this
you're
is
talking about
social-
catfishing,
Because niggas
but
be looking like
Yeah, that's why
Like
they
on
call
social
it
media,
nigga
there
Yeah.
are
They
influencers
put
and
curly
people who,
extensions
is
in
that
their
really a
hair.
big thing though?
It is.
Yeah.
It's man. Look, about 17 of them hoes got exposed like 2
last
days
week.
ago.
I was like, damn, I thought this bitch was black.
yeah.
Like, look, they're like
I
literally
guess because black is such a big microcosm
But they're
now. Like
putting,
it's so many
like,
different identities between
curly
being black.
extensions in their hair so that they're looking more biracial or more black. Like they're the makeup. They're putting on makeup that's
So-
like 3 or 4 shades
So
darker
what does it
than
mean
their
to be
skin.
black then? Where do you have to be from in order to be black?
One of your
See, that's the
parents
thing. They
gotta
don't
be
want
black,
to. Yeah,
at
they don't
least.
want to be
Robertson
black though.
place.
People
But what
like
is black though? Because everybody carries the Africa gene. It's just diluted
melanin.
with Neanderthal and other races. But what does it mean to be black?
To me,
Like where do you have to be from in order to be identified with black?
You have
or
to
to be
have
able to claim
melanin.
it?
You have to be
Yes,
born
yeah.
in America and be a descendant of slaves.
no, you could be black in other places.
I don't agree.
Wait,
I thought you could be black. Any person who has melanin. There are people in India, people in every country that are
Those
dark.
are Dravidians. Those aren't black.
Nobody
Those are
outside of
Dravidians.
America calls himself black.
Well, you can't
No.
be white. That's
Well-
part of the problem.
No
what is
bullshit.
white?
Africans don't call themselves black.
What is high?
Jamaicans
What
don't
is
call
high?
themselves
White is
To me,
Caucasian.
what
White
would you
is
do
your
if your
white is
son was out?
white is Slavic, Baltic. It's like a certain melanin deficiency on a level. So it's like it's levels to this shit. So if you have a certain level of melanin deficiency, this is my own model here. This is not a
Okay.
scientific model. This is
Okay.
my model. If you have a certain level of melanin deficiency, right, which is like a certain scale, then you are of the Baltic Euro.
Hold on, but
states.
what's the percentage?
I don't have a percentage.
Yeah, I know.
It's still a model I'm working
72.
on. Oh really?
hell up.
It's
I
some
just
real
made
shit?
that up, nigga.
Come
I
on,
don't
man. You
know.
about to get me excited? I was say, yo,
Nigga, I was trying to go. I was on the streak, want to know. You know what I'm saying? I was
Nah, but like, I'm really interested to know, like, what does it mean if
So-
somebody
so to
identifies
me-
as black? Because technically, a Senegalese person that's
this
like
is the
midnight
thing.
black can look at me
But-
saying that I'm black and be like, oh, you're not black.
But Cedric, they're
so what
not
does it mean?
identifying as black though. When you talk to these women,
But
they're
I thought
like,
black
no,
is
I'm
melanated,
but
right?
But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is they're just trying to look like us. But
And
they're
then
not
they say they're
identifying
white.
as black. When you contact them, they're like, no, I'm totally Caucasian.
No, but
Like,
what identifies as black? Because everybody carries the Africa gene. Everybody
So, yes,
has that
because
root.
we are the
So what is identified as
people-
black?
Yeah, we started civilization as African people
and
I'm
migrated
saying-
outward towards the world.
Right. So to me, and this is not a scientific thing either, or like what people. I don't go off of when I identify people. I'm talking about what I identify, but not what people identify as. If you have melanin in your skin, to me, I'm gonna look at you as a black person from whatever country that
Including
you're from.
neuromelanin?
What is neuromelanin?
That's the melanin you can't see.
Hey,
So what?
Well, if I
can't
I'm
see
asking
it,
you.
we don't know
Come
it.
on,
We
asking-
don't
Jeopardy.
exist.
I'm trying to get to the real root of the question
I
as
don't
to say,
know.
well, who is to deny them African?
them because
you know,
they're
American?
not black.
they're letting them
Look, what
because
I'm trying
they're
to do
letting us know that
but
they're
wait, I'm trying to
Caucasian.
get down past the labels to the science. I'm
is
all
Robert
about the
Downey
science.
Jr. black?
I don't think that
Huh?
they
He
know,
ain't
but
black.
see that's
Robert Downey Jr. He ain't black.
but they
He has
but
the
they don't
African
but
gene,
they
just like
don't
Ben
know
Carson
there's
does. So
but
is
they
Ben
don't
Carson
know
any
the
more black than
science.
him?
But
I
they
don't know.
don't know
That nigga
the
not black
science
either.
though, Cedric.
I
So
know,
we
right?
have to we can't take this from a scientific level. We have to take it at a surface level because they don't know
Why do
the
you
science.
know? We can't ignore the science.
But they don't know the science, and they're calling themselves completely Caucasian. So I got to take that for what it is. If you're saying you're
Locally,
Caucasian,
they're a Caucasoid,
and
yes.
that's fine. But if that's what you're saying you are, and then you're perpetrating this fraud with all of these aesthetics
You're
to
getting
make
down to
yourself
human
look
subjectivity.
black.
I don't speak from that on this subject. I'm
Well,
speaking purely from an aggregate perspective.
But
so what they're
but
saying,
you're the only one
is-
speaking from that perspective.
no, but no, I'm not. What they're saying is subjective based upon their perception. Perception defines your reality. I reject that completely by separating myself
But
from
I'm
that
not
one
about to
matrix.
go swab these people to see what they are. If the bitch
You don't
says she
have to.
Caucasian,
Everybody
she
has the African
Caucasian.
Okay. So
I mean, all y'all was supposed to go get that ancestry test.
I got the African ancestry DNA test. That's what I got.
Because I don't trust these
Hey,
people.
listen.
Wait. Let's get on that for a second. So you don't trust the ancestry
Get on
companies?
blackfishing.
I'm not
Yeah, let's get on
doing that.
blackfishing. Let's not be rude to brother man's conversation. So let's get on
That's what we was
blackfishing.
talking about.
Yeah, well, we
floated around that. We floated to
really
race
don't
and
know.
ancestry.
So more of this blackfishing story is technically okay. Certain we don't know what classify as black. We just know what classifies as black in America.
Okay.
As far as who gets the privilege and who don't. You know what I'm saying?
So with
Or
respect to blackfishing, let's define what that really is then.
blackfishing is like I guess your Kylie Jenner's, your Kim K's.
Is she really blackfishing?
No, she's not.
Lip
looks more
fillers.
virgin than black
But people, but what she does, the lip fillers, the tans and stuff, it kind of it's catalytic for shit
It's
like this
ethnic.
too.
It's
That's like entry level blackfishing.
It
It's
is.
taking aspects of it and making it work for you to sell to your demographic. Because secretly, everybody wants to be black, but nobody wants to be black. That's not no secret. That's a popular fact.
Shout out to,
It's a popular
Facts.
term.
Yeah.
But with blackfishing, these people, like Yatta said, are assuming an identity that is nothing like they actually were born as. It's
And they
people that look
monetizing?
goofy, weird, pasty.
Oh hell yeah, they monetize.
69 weeks ago. Then you look at their picture and they have a completely different skin tone because they tan.
So is the problem the fact that they're monetizing off of it, or
No.
what's the
Or is the
problem?
problem that they're doing it? Because
it's
aren't they low-key
partially-
paying homage to the black woman?
No,
By trying to be
no,
like
they're
you?
no, they're not though. Because the problem is we get crucified for
Right,
what comes to us
exactly.
naturally. Our hair texture,
Exactly. From
who?
our full lips, from
Every-
the
the
media,
world,
from
everybody.
white people in general.
Why you worried about what
you
they
got
think?
big,
Black men too.
It's not about that though. It's problematic because you got black girls getting sent home from school because they natural hair don't fit the dress code, but you got white girls out here trying to emulate that, trying to put extensions in their hair,
Trying to
doing
make
everything
their
they
hair
can
do
to kink their
dreads,
hair
and you-
and lock it
KRS-One
up.
said you can't have justice on stolen land. Why are you
And
surprised?
It's not about being surprised.
These are the natural
It's
traits
just-
of an oppressive
It's
regime.
not
Talking
about being
this is
surprised,
the-
but that doesn't make it any less upsetting when you
Right.
get butchered for what comes naturally to you. But when they emulate it, it's this new trendy thing. It's a hot new style.
It's
It's a
edgy,
slap in the
XYZ,
face.
yeah.
My only problem is the being able to monetize
Were you about
over
to say
us. But go
pet
ahead.
peeve and problem, but you didn't know where to go with it?
Nah,
You
I
caught
just
yourself.
was trying to say problem. The only problem is the
Gotcha.
fact that they can monetize off of some shit that we've been doing, and we can't monetize it. We can't monetize blackness better than white people can monetize blackness.
That's nothing new.
But that's the
Cotton
only.
gin was invented by a black man.
But it
Right.
It was
doesn't make
monetized
it
by a white
any
man.
Absolutely.
less
Most of it
This is nothing new.
Right. I'm just saying that's the only issue. It's nothing new. It's the same old issue that I've been having. But when it comes to blackfishing, that's the only issue that I have with it. If you want to wear cornrows and dreads, knock yourself the fuck out. But when you're able to monetize over a black women, that's
Well, who's buying it? Is it black women buying it? Or is it the people?
It's
Black- the white women
because
too.
black culture, urban culture, is such a popular export.
Yeah.
It is literally being consumed by everybody. It's
Right.
every little girl buying Kylie Jenner's lip line.
Yeah.
And it's every girl every woman buying Fenty. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different demographic. It's women that, no disrespect, you know what I'm saying? More impressionable. You're going to look at a person who is literally stealing someone's identity. And because it's something that you aspire to, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is how I get it done.
Right.
Like, so in a sense, I'm not tripping off who monetizes.
Right.
But if a black woman can't do it and walk scot-free, she can't go to work with her hair however she want. She can't walk out in public with a midriff on and not be called aggressive or whatever, like how they didn't let Serena rock a cat suit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then nobody should be able to do it. Especially not a white person.
Well said.
Even that's a
Who's
funny
the-
story though, because she decided to end up with a white man. So
Yeah.
it's like the community was fractured on her
Hey, who
anyway.
you wanna date?
No,
So
what I'm saying is like the community was
don't
fractured on whether or not to
Yeah.
support her or whether or not to shun her.
We
So
talked. We
it's a
spoke on that
complicated one.
before.
Say she
Shout out
look
to
like a man.
Serena. Well, but there was one more thing before we go. One more
That's because
thing.
he's muscular, but you know life happens.
Yeah.
She's
There was-
strong as shit.
Wasn't there one more thing that you
Hot ball on the
wanted
roof.
to bring up?
Oh, Damn,
Well, can I ask you one more question on blackfishing, though?
Yeah, holla at me.
So, like, what would be the recourse?
Gotta
You know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to do about that? Like, are we supposed to more actively support our own sisters?
Yes.
It's not
Like more publicly?
It's not about us, bro.
I think so.
I think that in our community,
Or are we supposed to challenge the people that are emulating them?
We have a close-knit community. What happens through black culture is incubated with us first.
Yeah.
They get it last. They get it after we already done with it. They say shit like trill and like they get the words that we already. Once the word gets to the dictionary, we don't even say it no more.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if they take it and use it, there should be a space. There should be visibility for black women to exist without being nudged over to the corner while Sarah Michelle curls her hair, sleeps in braids so she can take her hair out and so it can be poofy in the morning
So how
for
do
her
we fix
Instagram
this?
picture.
We gotta
We just have to
beat
make
name
space for black people.
And
black
we have to
women.
Is that
prop
through
up
economic
when we do
means?
it. When we do it, and we set the trends. We have to support us first, and then where by the time they get to it, it's no more
And
money
they
left
have
to
to-
even.
they have to
that.
support us.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I respect that.
They have to support us. Those who buying Kylie, what's it
Yeah.
called, and all of that, and looking at the women who look like a black girl, but you don't follow no actual
Hey.
black women.
Or you don't buy
You gotta
no
switch
just
that
for
up.
us or me.
Just for me, just for us. No, or
Pink moisturizer.
or there should be. I feel like if it was a Jewish thing and we were following Jewish beauty trends, I feel like by the time the Kylie Jenners got along to it, they're gonna be like, give us our tax. You know, we have.
Well, they're not interested in the local level. They're interested in the money changer stream.
Yeah,
So they're way higher level than just the lower economy.
Right, but I'm saying
They're interested in who controls the money supply, and that's not the knock on the Jews, but them as a people have gotten very historically good at managing some of the higher channels of government.
Right. So until we get there, we support ours first, and then by the time we get to the level where we are, big shit when it comes to that, then we'll be like, oh, that's so and so who started that. That's a black woman. We're gonna need our tax, and we have the mechanisms in place to go after what we started.
But then that opens up a flood door, because then you talk about creation taxes. So
I mean, yeah, but we'll
black
get there
people don't create everything. We create a lot. That's just true.
Yeah,
but there are plenty of things that, like for example, BMWs are wonderful machines, but black people didn't invent the company.
Yeah. That's
You know what I mean?
Just to say one last thing towards what you're saying, I really think that it lies with the outside community because I really don't like to speak in extremes or absolutes, but black people don't go nowhere and assimilate to other people's culture. Ain't nobody. You can't go to Clinton and go to a sari party where everybody has on saris or a Greek party. You know what I'm saying? But you can go to Greece and they playing Young Dolph. You can go to
Hip-hop,
India and they playing,
That's true.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cardi B. They consume our work. They consume our product.
Our creativity.
We don't run nowhere to go do that. So it needs to be them that supports the core of black people
That's
doing
true.
it. So I'm leave it alone, but that's what I really want to say.
There was one more before we go that you had.
Oh, I wanted to talk about servicemen. I want to ask y'all about servicemen.
Meaning?
You can't really speak on this, but
like maintenance.
She can in the past.
if I can
in
see
your
the
past life, have you had? I read this on Twitter. I was looking. I was like, all right, I gotta have something to talk about. I read this on Twitter that there are men that serve specific purposes in every woman's phone. Like you got your text man.
Ooh, shit.
You got your man who gives
Speak
you
on
free
that
food.
shit. 'Cause that shit is real. Like that shit is real as
First
fuck.
of all, game is sold, not told.
Okay, plead the fifth.
So,
Servicemen, like somebody who
it
pay
costs me a lot
your
to know
car
what I
note or
know.
something. Are they paying bills? Like, what do you mean? Like,
You got one, maybe you got one nigga
you
that
might
pay bills.
have
Like, date one
potential
dude
free food.
Or
There
give
might
him
have
more
been
attention because he responds to your text in a timely fashion. You might got one dude that always got the pack every time you see him when you need to smoke. You might got one dude that go to good restaurants and like taking
Have
you
you
out.
been in my
You got-
phone?
you
Yeah,
got
we
one
have
nigga
that.
that
We have
eat
that.
your
Heard about
pussy,
it.
but he don't got
Have
fuck
you been? I feel like you reading niggas
Clown
out of my
niggas.
phone, and I feel like you disrespecting me.
I feel like every woman has them, so
I
that's what
feel
I'm trying to
like
figure
every
out.
woman does have them, and we compartmentalize people. Just as we do family or friends, we got girlfriends that we go out with that we don't tell our business to. We got some of the girls that we tell our business
deflection.
to that we don't necessarily
She said,
go
"Skirt."
out with. But we do compartmentalize,
Yeah.
and I feel like when it comes to servicemen, that is a thing. Now, I'm judging on how many servicemen you have.
Oh, so.
Oh, you tripping? See, that's
you
where
can
you
have
tripping
some,
at
but you can
because I
only
can
have
have
a cap.
18
So how many can you have,
servicemen.
Sabrae?
I can have
3
18
to
service.
4 at the max.
Ain't nobody listening to you. You said we can't fuck on the first date. I'm not listening to you. First of all, I
nowhere
can
with you on
have
that when you said that.
I could have 18 servicemen and
Fuck
not let
on
none
the
of these
first
niggas
date.
hit. That's what y'all don't understand though, because free
Respect.
food gonna pay for that fucking food.
And with respect to that, I don't give a fuck when you have sex with whoever you want to have
Text
sex
man.
with. That's you.
You know
but
what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying,
Ladies, if
That's
you like
also a
that
big
a
problem
real
is that a
thing.
lot of men are guided by sex, and when you
Text
remove yourself
boo.
from that
We
itch,
all are.
then you no longer have a power play. And so
Yeah.
that's one of the elements that I mastered in my own local life. The Tao of Sexology teaches you how to basically manage that state so well that you know how to shift anything and observe everything with anybody at all. So the biggest thing is a lot of men get basically kneecapped by the will of their dick.
The
And
power
that is
of
true.
the PUSSY.
Exactly.
That's why
But when you
every
learn
nigga-
how to manage that shit,
Shut up.
When you're like, look, there's a common running joke. I don't know if you brothers have heard it, but there's a common running joke.
Teach me.
If you about to go out on the first date, beat the fuck out of your dick and then go out on the date and see if
That's
you
a
like that
fact.
and see if
That's
you
a
like
hard
that.
Nigga,
That's what you do.
Nigga, that's true.
First
Right?
of all,
Hold on, so
Damn. I don't want to go on that
hold on.
That's one thing
That's
to
management
all-
101.
No. First of all, post-nut clarity goes across the board, so it's not just for y'all.
No, but what I'm saying is that historically men have been known to be weaker when it relates to
That's a
succumbing to the power of the woman's sensual element. This is true. It's not a knock on women. It's not a knock on women at all, right? But here's the thing about it. Like, when you learn how to manage that state, you less become one of those servicemen.
But yeah, right.
So for me,
Bottom
how
line
you
is,
stop? No, wait,
free
wait,
food
look.
still gonna be free food.
Wait, hey, hang on a second.
Text bae
I'm
gonna be
gonna tell you how bad I
got.
got. I got to a point where I didn't even start paying for the first date. Bitch, we going Dutch. We gonna see how real it is.
That's
You
real
know what I
cute
mean?
till I go to the bathroom and don't come back.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I know what that is. I chalk it up to a lesson and an experience because I don't get mad anymore. I realize what is it supposed to teach me, right? Facts.
I'm going
But here's the thing.
I'm not-
So
Big
what
Shout out to
what
Nate.
I say men have to do as well is we have to get better at being more discerning at what
Don't
we're being
give our
used
dick
for.
to everybody.
Don't give your dick to everybody.
Thank God,
You
because
be
you don't
reserved.
want it anyway. We just want you to
So
pay
hang
for
on a second. So the young lady I'm dating
Keep
now,
the dick in
I've
your
been taking it
pocket,
at a fucking
2018.
snail's pace.
Yeah, just
I
take
haven't
the wallet
even
out.
I haven't even kissed her. It's been like months. I keep that shit real fucking slow. When you're a train operator speeding at 100 miles an hour, you can't perceive a break in the tracks. But if you take that shit real cool and you observe your surroundings and you learn your routes,
I
you're
would've had a
good to
husband
go.
by then. You
So what
tripping.
but what we have to do is get better at managing our emotional state and our
Right.
emotional awareness.
That's
what we have to do.
Instead of-
Because too many men allow themselves to be victimized by being a serviceman. If
That's
you got a
so
dude you
cold.
calling your phone just to get food, that's fucked up.
That's so
First of
cold.
all,
fucked
I
up.
don't
But how about if
call
you just
him-
call me for
No,
the dick?
first of all, I don't
That's
just
still
call
fucked up.
him for food. These niggas just be. This nigga just always want to pay for food, and who am I to deny you your lot in life?
If we live in this equality, no, look, if we live in this
Okay,
equality
first of all-
society,
Use the food,
hear me out.
Ronald.
If we live in an equality society,
First
why I
of
gotta
all-
pay for your meal? If we live in an equal society,
that's
why
what
do I have to hold the door open for
This
you?
is the
If we
kicker.
going Dutch in life,
I'm-
let's go Dutch in life.
First of all,
Nigga, I'm open the door so I can get
I'm
the pussy.
not. Look, if you want to pay for the food, I'm not gonna stop you. I don't ask niggas for nothing. If you're willing to do that and that's just your thing, then who am I to deny you? You know what I'm saying?
That's why I'm a fan of men being
I'm not
more
gonna put
reserved
you
with what
out
we
your
put out.
element.
So we need to be more reserved with everything we put out. That's my message to the men.
Servicemen. We're
You
gonna
can still
have
be
to-
chivalrous. You can still be cordial,
That's
still be
it.
cool.
You already know
But
you
be
got
more
the
reserved
name of
with
the
what
show.
you put out.
Okay, we
And by
are.
all means, brothers, there's a book you need to get. It is called The Definitive Book of Body Language by Barbara S. Pease.
They can't
Read that
read.
book and study the fuck out of that book. Nonverbal communication.
Let me keep it a buck.
You
If
still
she-
gonna pay?
If she don't let you fuck in 2 weeks, get rid of her. All right, you can close the show.
Because I probably got a new lunch sponsor by that
Yeah,
I don't
anyway.
have that problem.
Yeah.
I don't have a two.
Thank you.
If she take 2 weeks to let you get some cool, she don't like you.
Any.
Maybe she
I was
fine.
going to say my
Last-
final thought. I'm not.
yeah.
I don't want to spark or add fuel to the fire, but
Yes, you
I
do.
fully 100% support taking that woman out, buying her drinks, bro. We have penises. We gonna come every single time. We gonna nut. She probably not gonna nut like every time. Let's just be real about it. You know what I'm
stingy
saying?
niggas.
This a
Okay.
tax. This is a tax we paying. So pay your taxes.
So she's a prostitute.
Keep your face clean. No,
Yes.
bro.
We all are. So go ahead.
I'm just
Yes.
saying,
That's what it sounds like. It's not like I'm paying for the
She could be a
pussy.
prostitute.
In one way or another.
Hey, guess what?
you-
That's what it
Fair
sounds like.
exchange ain't robbery.
Same result. You still nutting. It's a
Fair
good nut.
exchange ain't robbery.
I'm just saying, bro.
It'll be the best nut you ever had.
Still coming off.
But for me, it's not all about the white dragon. It's not
Are
all
we
about
gonna-
chasing the nut.
That's a
all
different
about more.
mindset. That's a different mindset
It's
that
all
our
about
brothers
the
have
nut.
to aspire to get to. But
No,
until
what the
then-
fuck? Every bitch, no. I'm not trying to aspire for extra shit. Sometimes I just want to nut.
But he was
Facts.
saying he doesn't really
Facts.
care about
Everybody
the nut
should
or
be
the-
nut.
I understand that,
Oh, but
but
you're
if you
saying-
were trying to wife every bitch that you come in contact with, your
I never said wife.
It's
Not you, not you.
I just don't pay attention
I'm just
to
talking.
anybody.
You know what I'm saying?
that's all that
Like
goes on in my
sometimes,
circle.
yeah, you just want that.
Everybody should be having orgasms, and if you're not, which is honestly, I'm not speaking for nobody here, but the majority of us we're not carrying our weight in a lot of aspects in life. This society is
Facts.
built to benefit us, bro. It's not built to benefit women. So sometimes we gotta take that on the chin and do that. Go that extra step, open the door, pay for the meal, buy that extra drink, buy her ugly friend a
Drop
drink. I'm
some
probably not
vicious
gonna buy her
dick
ugly
off.
friend a drink. You know what I'm saying? Drop that. But
I'm not gonna buy a woman a drink because I'm not poisoning her. You know what I'm saying? So my perception on reality is completely different.
Damn, I can't get an
than the
apple
nodal-
juice. That who
No,
knows?
no, you won't even get an apple juice because that's still
Nigga,
poison.
I'm
I don't drink juice.
DeVoe.
So it's just it's just a different perception. That's all it is.
Right,
It's a different perception.
But
Well, I got
So my whole thing is I've just noticed that men have a lot of a more of a weaker stomach when it comes to managing their sexual urges when it relates to women, which
gonna
relates
get
to
pleased
women
more, though.
having the power to control your emotional state.
But-
That's a dangerous bar every time. It causes an L every time.
Ron,
It only
Fiji,
takes 2 weeks.
Yes or no?
Cedric, Ron, thank you so much for coming. I
You
appreciate
ain't gotta thank
you.
us. That ain't nothing.
I do. We
I
appreciate
came here and got a
y'all.
new nickname. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Young Jeopardy.
Make sure you follow us on social medias. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
listening, and if you're listening on the audio, I will put our social medias in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be right here, and it's going to be in the description as well. We will see you next time on No Disclaimers Podcast.
100.